Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tales on Tap, a place where good friends get together weekly to share stories about really bad things happening while you're away from home, coming back and finding out the kids did not behave whatsoever, and that everything's on fire. So yeah, that happened.
Much.
I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you so much for joining us again this evening. I hope everyone is surviving, given the heat wave that we're having in the UK and wherever else in the world you are right now. I hope that the weather's glorious, and so are you. Before we jump into tonight's session, let's say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Amazing. We can't do that though, because I think we're stealing that from Dimension 20. But fuck it, learn and steal things from the best.
Who?
I've never heard of them, so
Really, who?
Yeah, we're coming for you,
Nondescript
Brennan.
D&G channel. It's
We're
fine.
coming for you, Brennan Lee Mulligan. See you. We're coming. So before we get into tonight's session, a few announcements as we typically do each week. As always, our streams are sponsored by Valkyrie RPG. If you haven't checked them out already, go down and the link is in the description below. It's valkyrie-rpg.co.uk. They sell really cool dice, really cool D&D stuff. There's also other games that they sell, as well as apparel and other really cool shit. Go check them out. Use the code TALES10 at checkout to get 10% off store-wide purchases, anything except subscription services. So make sure you go and check them out. We are missing a player again this evening. Chris is currently on holiday, so we are going to miss one player throughout tonight's stream. But do not worry, because he will be back this Thursday for Spelljammer. So don't worry if you are missing his face. First, go and probably speak to a therapist as to why that is. But he will be back on Thursday, so fear not. Our friend will be back with us then. So, a couple of big things that we need to announce. Obviously, we are back on Thursday for Spelljammer Academy. We're going to find out deal with the aftermath of what happened last week, which is going to be really, really fun. Next week, we have the Fallen on Tuesday, but we have a really special stream on Thursday, which is going to be really, really fun. So, next Thursday, we have a collaborative game that's going to be ran by Chris, but we have players from Die by the Sword, the Dirty Rollers, and Roll Britannia joining us live next Thursday to play one hell of a one-shot. I can't wait because I'm going to play in that.
I'm so excited. I am also playing in that. I am very
Yeah, it's not all of us.
I can't wait to watch it.
I'm so excited.
Be in the chat.
It's going to be incredible. We have got some really cool things coming to our YouTube channel over the next couple of weeks. As you all know, we went to UK Game Expo a couple of weeks ago and we filmed a lot of content there. Unfortunately, because life does come at you fast, we haven't had as much opportunity to edit all that down as yet, but it is nearly there. So we've got loads of cool interviews with some of the people and creators that joined us there. We've got some really cool things in the pipeline as well, where we're actually going to work with some of those creators and actually bring you guys some really fun content in the future as well. So if you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, the links are downstairs as well as all the links to our other social media platforms. So make sure you go over there, hit follow, subscribe, like, notification bell, all that jazz. We'll be happy to entertain you every weekday with posts and videos and all sorts of content. So make sure you go check that out. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, don't worry. Please don't worry. You don't have to subscribe in order to come and join in the fun each week. But if you do want to subscribe, and I know times are a bit tough right now, you can either hit that purple bell if you're a little bit more affluent than most, or if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you can combine that with your Twitch account and you get one free subscription a month. And you are more than welcome to spend that with us, or go support another content creator if you want to. That's absolutely fine
But
as
it
well.
should be us because we love you guys.
Yeah, that. But by the way, we've got quite a fun session planned tonight, as these guys kind of deal with the aftermath of coming back from the Feywild, so that's going to be quite fun. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. As anybody, we are running a giveaway as well at the moment. So the giveaway at the moment is being ran over on our Discord channel. Please send a message out to us. We're going to try. For some reason, the Discord link that's in the link down below kind of runs out after 30 days. I have no idea if I had to keep updating that. So I'll get that sorted, but I'll put the link somewhere, but reach out to us, join the Discord, and then we'll be able to join that. So basically what we want you to do, we want you to come up with your most creative and inventive NPCs. Now I'm going to actually pull this NPC into our world somehow, whether that's campaign 1, campaign 2 that is on the horizon, needless to say. But we want you to come up with the best kind of NPC that you can come up with. Make them fun, make them entertaining, put them in the Discord channel, and then the next time we have a Last Orders, we're going to pit them against each other, talk about what we like about them, what we don't like about them, and kind of dictate and decide amongst ourselves who we like and which NPC wins. And the winner of that gets a free art commission by none other than our friendly neighborhood artist, Natalie. She's going to do a one-time only art commission for you, which does also include a small chibi as part of that. So that can be anything that you want, whether that's your own D&D character, or maybe it's a family member, maybe it's your dog or your cat, whatever you want, really. Just let her know, and the winner of that will get that done. Cool. I don't think I've missed anything out.
I don't think so.
Good.
That was it.
I think we're good. God, I'm getting better at this. Which is really surprising, because I got home 25 minutes ago and went, ah! So, let's get into tonight's session. So, if you haven't already, go get yourselves a drink, get yourselves comfy, as we dive into tonight's episode of Tales on Tap.
What? I'm not sure why we make these reports, or who's watching them for that matter, but we have a mission to get to, so I'll make this quick. After the fall of Zash Bay and the departure of their feathered friend, the group was wiped, both physically and emotionally. But we all had one thing on our minds. What has happened to our realm since we've been gone? And God couldn't have blessed me with the imagination to picture the true devastation we were to face when we got home. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Breathe. I led the group, mostly in silence, back through the Feywild. We took a small second to catch our breath, all reluctantly. This is when they tell me that the helm I found, that they had seen a helm like the one that I had found. Doesn't seem to do much apart from make people uncomfortable. Joe suggests we bury feathers here. That doesn't go down well, and we decide to do it once we get home. Clovis did take the time to apologize for not being more open. It reminds me of Matt and how he would get after our squabbles. Sorry.
You're okay, take your time.
Then when I feel we're getting close enough to pull us back to the monastery, I swear that when I feel close enough, I pull us back to the monastery. And as I do, I swear I see that bloody fairy, but that's a problem for another time. And the second we step through, we know something's gone terribly wrong. This room that is always empty is full of what looks like soldiers at first, and then behind them, huddled together, hurt, gaunt, and scared. The guards stand in formation and draw their weapons at us, and demand to know who we are. V is nowhere to be seen. But a tattooed man with one arm and one eye moves through the crowd and tells them to stand down. He confirms the worst. We have been gone for some time. Ash refers to this man as Tiri. 6 months. 6 months. Breathe. Jove walks off. I don't see any familiar faces in the crowd. Then Clovis disappears. We move into the main hallway as Ash runs and wraps herself up in Jove, and they start crying. The whole scene in front of me, my head spins. My world spins. And for the first time it hits me. The pain, the devastation, the loss. It's too much. Breathe. I try to find V, but I am chased by that tattooed man, and he explains to me he cannot be disturbed and pleads for us to follow him, and we do. Clovis and Michael joins us all in the kitchens. He informs us that a few weeks after we left, the army moved north, the one that was reckoned south. Leaving nothing but ruined cities, towns, and villages in their wake. The army has grown in size, but so has the forces of good. They're all gathered in the garrison to the east of Waterdeep. Waterdeep itself, it seems to be in enemy hands. After questions, we agreed that our fight is at the garrison. But at first, we need to rest. But before we do, Clovis informs us that he thinks it's best if he leaves us for a while to try to infiltrate the army, as he feels this is where his skills lie best. This pisses me off. It's crazy, and Jove seems to match my feelings and then some. I decide to find a place to rest while they figure it out. I find Terry, and he walks me to the normal sleeping quarters, where he gives me a list of survivors here at the monastery. I desperately search for their names, but nothing. Fuck. Breathe. It was sometime later when the others joined me, but by the time we woke, Clovis was gone. And it surprised me how much his safety worried me. Anyway, it's time to go.
Nicely done.
Very good. Where we pick up tonight's session, just change this a little bit.
I'm scared.
Don't be scared.
Me too.
Don't be scared. You're okay.
Is this before we die?
Everyone's okay. We're all gonna be fine. Do you believe me?
Nope, a bit
No, not really.
Okay, so let me have a look, because I think I need people to roll d20s for nope.
I think it is just
Just-
Dan.
Just me.
Is it just you this time? Oh, amazing!
Yeah,
that
it's just
makes things a lot simpler. So there we go. If you can keep some notes for me this evening, that would be great.
That's fine. It was a natural 3 anyway, so.
In that case, can you please
I
take
know,
notes
right?
this week?
I'll take double notes.
Double
Double
notes,
the
yeah.
notes. Amazing. Thank you. So where we pick up tonight's session, you guys have gained the benefits of a long rest, and where we pick up is that you guys wake relatively early. It seems that sleep that night hasn't really come well to either of you, or any of you, to be fair. You all wake roughly around the same time, I think, because most of you have been on the road for quite a while, but then sleeping on the floor. You're not used to the state of sleep that you've actually managed to have. You've had a little bedroll that's been laid out and quite uncomfortable. The place is quite loud given the amount of people that are here. But as you all wake up, you do notice that 2 individuals of your party have left in the night. There is no sign of Clovis, and there is no sign of Banff. Will you all wake and gather yourselves in the morning? You're all in the room that was, that kind of, you slept in the first time you were here when you were trying to obviously bring feathers back. That's the room in which you are in at the moment.
So
Yes,
much
we
for
don't get a goodbye.
yeah. But I
Okay.
guess
It's very Clovis of him to just leave.
kind of smart as well. I mean, if there's any chance of there being someone who infiltrated the garrison, it's probably better if he's not seen with us, if he's supposed to not be part of us for his mission. So
Just see Jove staring angrily at the mat where he used to be and what the dog should have been, and he just like looks at all three of you and just closes his eyes, crosses his legs, puts two fists together in his lap, and just goes. Says nothing and just starts breathing deeply.
Ash takes out the sending stone and just says, "You don't have to reply, just stay safe and come back to us. You promised."
A second later, you hear a cough.
Okay. So Waterdeep, I guess.
we need
Garrison.
to do something first.
What is more important than going to the garrison?
I looked at the cauldron.
And I look at the cauldron.
Oh, of course.
What better place to put her down than a temple?
Let me go ask Terry if he seems to be the voice now instead of V. I'll go find him and ask where would be appropriate.
Right.
But I would suggest by the grandfather tree, but that place is maybe too sacred to disturb the earth there. Not that she doesn't deserve it.
Also, I wouldn't say anything outside of the barrier.
True. Okay, you guys get sorted. I'll go find Terry and then I'll meet you back here, okay?
Okay.
And I go off to try and find Terry, whether that be in the kitchen where he kind of set up shop in a way of his quarters, or whether it's among other people or whatever.
Yeah, you kind of head over to the kitchen first, and as you kind of open the door and walk in, you see that he isn't in there. There is nobody in there, and his bedroll that was there doesn't even seem to have been slept on or in, or nothing seems to have changed since you left last.
Okay.
You then kind of turn and head into the main hall. You notice that a lot of people are still asleep, but those that are awake are kind of huddled together and in hushed conversation, and nobody's really paying you much mind at this point. You do see that the young girl that was hugging Jove's leg the night before kind of spots you and just kind of smiles and waves and starts walking over to you.
Yeah, I meet her halfway and I kind of like go down on her knee and say, "Hi,
Good morning.
good morning. Are you okay?"
Yeah, I'm okay. Have you seen my dad?
What does your dad look like?
Oh, he's very big, and he's tall, and he's very scruffy, with a big black beard.
What is it? Is this a human girl or is this?
It is. It's a small human
Yeah.
blonde girl. You kind of see that she's wearing kind of tattered cotton clothing, kind of creams and browns. You see that her hair, as I'm sure you will know, when pigtails are put in but then are there for too long, and she kind of
It's massive, kind of,
taken
yeah.
them out.
Yeah,
But it's all just
still-
like
Yeah.
all over the place, and her hair's just kind of a bit of a mess right now. And she kind of like describes this person to you, and you have not seen this individual at all.
I'll tell you something. I will keep an eye out for your dad, okay? But I have a
Okay.
task for you, okay?
Oh,
It's okay. It's only a little one. If I give you some paper, will you be able to draw me a picture of your dad?
oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I'm dead good at drawing.
I could tell that about you. So what I want you to do, I've just got to go ask a couple questions around here, okay? I'm going to keep an eye out, but it would really help me if you could just draw me a picture of him, okay?
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Mummy's not awake right now, but I'll do that. Daddy said he'd be right behind us, and he's not here yet.
Okay, when did you see him? Was it a few days ago, or?
Yeah, a while ago now.
Little
We've
while
been
ago.
here for some time, really.
Well, that's
and I'm
okay.
just a little worried because my daddy's my favourite.
Don't tell your mom that.
I won't.
No, don't do that. But you at least have her here, okay? You stay by her side. I will keep an eye out for your dad for you, but you draw me that picture, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
And
And I give her some like a parchment and like a bit of charcoal. Charcoal. I just hand it over. I was like,
Yeah.
you stay busy. You stay here. Wait till don't go anywhere until your mom wakes up. But you get busy, and I'll come back and I'll get that picture off of you, okay?
Okay. And she just kind of like turns on her heels and just kind of like skips back to where her mum is. And like you see that like she kind of like plonks herself down and kind of starts thinking about it and just starts etching things and then kind of like leans like lies down on the floor, legs kind of crossed behind her and keeps like swinging her feet and crossing them, and she's kind of like drawing it out.
Yeah, I kind of got like her tongue stuck.
Yeah.
Ash kind of like rights herself, takes a deep breath, like tries to hold back any tears in her eyes, and continues on to find Tiri.
Okay. You don't find him in the big hall, but you kind of like head out into the courtyard, and you do see him like a bit down the steps from the main door to the monastery, just kind of off to the left-hand side, talking with a couple of people, and he kind of, as the doors open, his head kind of turns towards, sees you, and kind of like nods and smiles.
Morning.
He kind of like walks towards you and goes, morning. I didn't think I'd see you till at least this afternoon.
Normally, I would try and sleep in, but things feel a bit too urgent now.
Are you okay?
I am okay. Clovis left this morning. So...
Yeah, I saw him leave. He seemed in a bit of a hurry. He didn't stop or make small talk with anyone, just kind of brushed past.
No, he's got his own mission in mind, so I'm sure I'll be fine. Can't help but worry about him, though. Obviously, we mentioned yesterday about going to the garrison.
Oh,
to try and...
yeah.
In terms of...
Are you heading out this morning, or...?
We were wondering if we could do something here first.
Okay.
You remember our owlin friends, Feathers?
Yeah, I do remember. Mighty mischievous one. I do.
No. Unfortunately, she's gone, and that's part of the reason we went to the Feywild, was to try and get her back. But she has made her peace now, and we would quite like to lay her to rest.
Okay.
And I know, obviously, this is more V's jurisdiction than yours, but you said not to disturb him, and is there any chance we could maybe lay her to rest here on the monastery's grounds?
I mean, honestly, I think it'll be a little inappropriate, given that she was never formally inducted into the Order of the Ethereal Earth, but given everything you've been through, and sure. I think I will make the exception, and if he has anything to say about it, just won't tell him.
He doesn't need to know.
No.
It just seems fitting, knowing what I know now about this place, that I didn't realize that it was essentially protecting the passageway to the Feywild, and Feathers herself is a bundle of Fey chaos in a body from the mortal realm, and it feels fitting.
Of course. There's, where the small garden is. I've made sure that nobody camps there. I wanted to keep at least some of our outside space a bit secluded for those that need space. We don't let anybody typically leave this place, so at the moment at least, find a small patch. I'll make sure that I put guards before the entrance to the gardens just to make sure that nobody comes and disturbs you.
Thank you. Just while I've got you, the small girl, I didn't even ask her name. Her mother's here. She's asking about her dad. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, they arrived a good 3 or 4 weeks ago. I believe her mother and her and 3 or 4 others were survivors of an attack on a village just a little northeast from here.
Okay.
I don't believe that there were many survivors. I'd best not say that. We have been trying to keep their spirits high and told her that her dad may be looking to help others and such, but we fear the worst, really.
I thought as much. I've set her on the task of drawing me a picture of her dad and said that I will keep an eye out.
It's probably best, at least to keep her occupied, if anything else. She has been quite restless and bored. This isn't really a place for children, you know?
I mean, I was bored and I was 18 when I first got here, so...
Yeah, it's not the most fun place to be.
What of the creatures in the High Forest themselves? Are they keeping to themselves?
We haven't seen much of them, I'll be honest. They have been quite spare, and quite sparse, really. I believe that most of them have gone to ground. Such is the way, but there are other entities, those that do protect the Great Forest. They are on patrol most of the day and evening and night. Or if the Great Forest were to fall, then that would be unspeakable, really.
Okay. Well, the others are probably wondering where I am. But thank you.
You're most welcome. What is your plan? Are you heading out first thing?
I think as soon as we can. We plan to head to Waterdeep. I don't know if there's any accelerated means of transportation.
We have shut all manner of that sort of travel down for now.
Okay.
Given the current state of things, we don't know if that is being monitored by otherworldly forces or if it's unstable at the moment. I'm not entirely sure, but it was under V's strict instruction not to let anybody travel by a portal.
Okay.
And I'm, as much as I would want to help you, unfortunately we wouldn't be in a position to offer much in terms of rations or food or anything to help you on your journey. I hope you can understand.
Of course, you've got a lot of people here to take care of. Jove has become quite savvy with cooking and finding scraps to eat, so I'm sure we'll figure something out. And I've gotten pretty good at identifying herbs on the side of the road, so I think we'll be okay.
Good. There may be a couple of things I might be able to... Leave it with me, but come and see me before you leave.
Of course. I wouldn't dream of going without saying goodbye.
No problem. And
okay.
Ash...
Yeah?
You seem a lot better this morning.
Compartmentalization.
Yeah, it's still not something I've been able to master, but anyway, for another time. I'll speak to you soon.
I'll speak to you soon.
And he just kind of like turns and walks back to the individuals he was talking to.
Yeah, and I head back inside to the sleeping quarters.
Okay, well, while you were gone, what are the rest of you doing?
Michael would have approached Joe sitting in his lotus position.
Yeah,
I know it is. Like he is very silent, just sort of breathing as nicely as an orc can. There's a bit of a whistle to one of his nostrils, but it clears eventually. And then he
just to the one nostril.
Yeah. It's just the one it's just the one closest to the ground, where all the blood's gone to one side of his head.
Yeah. But
the details down.
I don't want to disturb whatever you're doing, but I was wondering if you perhaps wants to go outside and spar with me.
I don't know if throwing weapons around all these injured, sick,
Just
and
fists, nothing
unhappy
else.
people. I mean, I don't want to hurt you, Mike.
No, it's. I'm not thinking about about hurting each other. It's just to. If we are going to the garrison, if we are going into this thing, I want to be in my best form. And the only other melee person, well, apart from Ash, but she's fucked off. So
Oh, so I'm your second choice.
no, but let's
It's because I'm the best monk.
tell her that.
Second best. I mean, I'm the one meditating. You're the one just fucking off doing whatever.
Keeping us together.
Let's
I'm just
not.
thinking that if we are facing strong threats, well then you're the strongest threat that I can face. That doesn't want to instantly kill me.
I mean, no, you're right. He sort of like punches his fists together and heaves himself up into sort of like one straight stand. I was actually thinking about this. That sword you got, it's a bit wimpy, isn't it?
Wimpy. What makes you
Well,
say
it's
that?
it's very long and it's very thin. It doesn't look like it could do much, apart from poke, maybe. I got something for you. That's what I'm trying to say. He sort of like turns around and starts digging through things. He's like, here, take this. I am going to throw you the archer on blade.
Okay.
And
What is
like,
this blade?
So the scabbard itself is just pitch black with like silver tip, silver edge. The hand guard, it's just like a very standard looking blade with like a slight, it's almost like a little mace on the end. It's just a little spiked ball. I took this sword. That was the first time feathers ran away, actually, from some fucking asshole on a dragon riding a dragon, which is weird in itself. But I took it from his body once I killed him. I got no fucking use for the thing because I have my axe. You look like you could use another sword, so take it. It's yours. And if you
Sure?
look it up, you can. Yeah, I don't care. You need a weapon. I got a weapon. I don't use the weapon. You use the weapon.
All right.
I love that. That was so good.
Sure, thanks.
So I'll give you a quick overview of what the archer like. So it's a pitch black blade made of mysterious arcane alloy, +1 to attack and damage rolls made with the magic weapon. While the sword is near your person, you are immune to the effects of turn undead. Dark blessing. When you hold the sword as an action, you can give yourself 1d4 +4 temporary hit points. Can't be used until next dusk. And then disheartening strike. When you hit a creature with an attack using this weapon, you can fill the target with an unsettling dread. Target has disadvantage on the next saving throw it makes before the end of your next turn. Creatures ignore this effect if they are immune to the frightened condition. Once you use this, you can use it at next dusk. If you look it up, it is there. It's just a longsword essentially, but you can have that. Yes, archer on blade, longsword.
Awesome. Oh, amazing. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, if you want to go outside and have a swing around with it, see how you feel. I mean, get used to the weight and stuff. Go a few rounds.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Let's see if they repaired the training dummies outside after I smashed them to pieces last time.
Oh, fuck those things. Just try and hit me. I'll be fine. You want to do a bit of sparring? We'll just, trade blows.
Fair enough. And we'll head outside.
Oh, Hallie.
Yeah,
Hallie-
Hallie's not interested in any sort of this macho-ness going on, so she is just carefully packing up her stuff, and she's also packing up any stuff that's been left by anybody else and sort of gathering it to her, and she's going to wait by the cauldron for everyone else to come back. So she is packing up everyone's gear that has not already packed up and is like getting us ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe's stuff was just spread across the floor.
Yeah, I kind of presumed.
Okay, so both Jove and Michael, you're both heading outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you
Based
kind
on-
of, as you kind of had this conversation and you walk outside, you see that towards the bottom of the steps having a conversation with Tiri. Ash is kind of stood there, but you kind of just ignore that and move your way over to the kind of a small area, and it is small. The amount of tents and everything in this place, in the courtyard, there are very limited spaces in order for you guys to have a little bit of a sparring session, but we're not going to go roll to hit or anything like that. You guys just start having a sparring session. But do you just use fists?
No. So essentially, all I wanted to do was sort of get him used to the weight of a different sword, sort of like get him used to wielding it, sort of trading a few blows here and there, like that kind of jazz.
Okay, no problem.
It's very much just sort of practice with a new blade before we set out into the world, and you throw it somewhere because you didn't grip it hard enough.
Okay, no problem. So you two spend a good half an hour doing that, but you do become, like, you start getting used to the weight. It's a little bit heavier than the blade you currently have, Michael. But the balance is quite good, and you are kind of getting used to the weight of it. And I mean, you're quite adept with blades anyway, so it doesn't take you as long as you'd think. And you do, after a few minutes, actually start like moving it as swiftly as your other blade, to the point where Jove kind of, it surprises you, and you're like, oh right, okay, yeah, well, yeah, you know what you're doing. Ash, you finish your conversation up, walk back through the monastery, and as you kind of get back to the room, you kind of see that Hallie is kind of deep in her own thoughts, just packing people's stuff away, but you kind of walk into the room while she's doing that.
Hi.
Oh,
I
that's better than
see.
expected.
I see the others left.
They went off to spar.
Ah,
They were talking about swords.
okay.
I think they're sparring.
I think so. I saw them go off into the garden, so I have go ahead that we can lay her to rest here.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes.
Is there a specific spot or?
I know where. It's a small garden that Terry's kind of kept away from people, just so there was some area of sanctity left within the place, and he said we're okay to go there, and don't tell V.
Oh, I've done many
So-
things in this monastery that we just don't tell V. I get
As
that.
have I. He always seems to somehow figure out what it is, though.
That look, right? He gives you that
Right?
look.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's just like he sees through all of your secrets, and quite honestly, I wish he did not do that. It's very
Me
unnerving.
too.
But no, I think I'd quite like her to be here. I mean, I'd quite like her to be with us, but
Yeah. I was thinking about the offer I made yesterday about cutting down our travel time with my staff here. I think it'll be better used because we would have to transport back here after we used it. I think it could be if we traveled without it, just in case we get into a situation
It's an
down
escape
there.
plan.
Yeah.
I also spoke to Terry about kind of accelerated means of transportation there, and
Okay.
apparently V has put a warning against using portals for now.
Right.
So I agree with you. I think it should be a last case resort if we need to get out and get out fast. I guess I think we're back to going on foot, which is okay. Terry said that there may be a few things he can give us. Obviously, not much, but to see him before we leave. I don't know if you can use these, but Clovis gave these to me. I don't think he realizes I can't use them because I've got these on me, and I take out the braces of defense.
Oh shit.
They're being passed around, Joe.
I've never worn braces before, but
I mean,
don't quite go with the glove, but I can maybe
you
wear
could
it
put them
underneath.
under. Yeah. It's just I can't wear these with my existing gauntlets, so
That's very kind of you and of Clovis.
I don't. I think he thought that I gave them to him, but I've never had these ever.
He does seem to the kind to re-gift, so
They're probably from Jove or something. I don't know, but I just
no,
if
very
you
very appreciative. And you do see as she takes off her glove to put them on, that there is like sort of like a lightning scar, like a sort of a crackled sort of scar that goes the entire way up her arm, which is why she wears her glove. And she puts on, then she puts the glove back over the top.
like bolts of lightning, not like a little,
not Harry Potter. Yeah, it's not
Okay.
Harry Potter. It's like a sort of like a contact sort of scar that runs up her arm, and she puts the
Harry
glove back
Potter.
on after it. Not Harry Potter. Damn it.
Oh,
Harry Potter and the
Nice.
Cauldron of Feathers.
Hey.
Go on. Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, if you are still okay to join us, I know we'd be more than appreciative of your help. I understand this is a lot, and I know I didn't exactly cope well with it yesterday. And I'm sorry. I'm not used to being vulnerable like that. I just couldn't really. It was a lot all at once, and I don't process things too well.
I understand that. I don't think I fully understood when Jove said devastation or destruction or what word he used. It hit me yesterday, seeing everyone.
I joined these guys and never really saw the extent of it either. I didn't see the raids on the south. I just saw snippets. So I didn't really realize the extent before yesterday either. So I understand that completely.
There is actually someone here. I saw his name on the list that Thierry gave me from Bella that I wouldn't mind speaking to before we leave. It's someone I know from home, just if we can, that's all.
Well, of course, I think once those guys are done, I think we take feathers. We say our... And you can see that she's like trying not to cry again. We say our farewell. And then we go find this person from Belloc. Do you mind if I have a quick look at that list?
Do I still have it, or did I give it back to Tyrion?
It's Tyr's. You won't have it.
Yeah. Yeah, I gave it back to him. Sorry, it seems important, and
No, it's okay. I probably would have spotted people I knew if I'd seen them anyway. They're probably not here.
I was gonna say, I don't know how comfortable you guys are having me there while you lay her to rest. I mean, I'm happy to go and see Edredor if you guys want privacy for that. I understand it's a private matter.
You saw us say goodbye to her. This is more... We've had our goodbyes. This is more a...
Practically. For a lack of a sensitive term. I apologize.
No,
Sometimes
I was going to say the same thing, but then I thought, is that insensitive? I don't know. My brain is just scattered at the moment, but no, it more or less, if you want to go off and do your own thing, if it would make you uncomfortable to be there, then 100% go do that. But I personally don't mind if you wish to be there.
Edredor can wait. I'm sure he's busying himself around here somewhere.
Would I have heard them speak of Edredor before?
I don't know actually. I don't think they. I mean, if they've mentioned him, it's literally in passing, and I don't think
Yeah.
it's something that you would have kind of gone, "Oh, that's that one person you mentioned that you mentioned all that time ago after everything else we've been through." So I don't think it's something that you'd have clung on to.
Okay, well, if you're sure, then let's go get the guys and do this.
Hopefully they haven't knocked two lumps out of each other.
So just for clarity, you take all your stuff with you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Between us lumping the cauldron, because
I will put whatever I have to into the bag of holding. So that
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
basically both with our meager strength, kind of like pulling the cauldron along with us.
Okay. So you managed to carry it out outside.
I put a blanket over the cauldron so
Yeah,
as
yeah,
to
yeah.
not alarm any children.
I kind of assumed
kids.
as much. And as you kind of are walking through the main hall with the cauldron and such, the little human girl kind of runs over and goes, "Hi,
Hi.
sorry, are you busy?"
We're just on the way to do something. Have you done the picture?
I have. So this is my daddy, and
Okay.
this is me. I don't have black hair, but I didn't have any other colours.
No, I only
um,
gave you one, so
This
that
is
makes
me.
sense.
And it's legitimately like a rudimentary, like
Yeah.
7-year-old's drawing of people.
Okay.
So it's like almost just like round circle,
Mhm.
squiggles for hair. And she's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"This is my daddy, and this is me. Could you find him, please?"
I am going to do my very best, okay? And I kind of go down to her level again, and I pick up I take the picture from her. Now, what I want you to do, while I'm gone and searching for your dad, I want you to find some paper, and I want you to draw as many memories of your dad as you can. And that way, as you draw those, I'm then linked to this paper, because I can do magic, and I cast light in my hand. So, as you draw those memories of your dad, it's going to send those messages to me. So I'll have more of an idea of who it is I'm searching for, okay? Can you do that for me?
Yeah, of course I can.
What's your name, by the way? I didn't ask.
Oh, my name's Esme.
Esme. It is lovely to meet you, and you are going to be an incredible artist, okay? If that is something you want to do. So I need you
Okay,
to draw those memories of your
Okay.
dad
I will.
and keep that bond between us going.
Wait, I have a present for you. And she kind of like has this tiny little like satchel on her side, and she reaches in and pulls out kind of a yellow flower, but like a couple of the leaves are kind of like bent,
Yeah.
another couple of like off, and she kind of like puts it behind your ear, and she goes,
I
"That's
kind of like secure it in place.
that's for you."
Thank you. Thank you, Esme.
Give her a dagger. Give her a
No,
dagger.
I'm not giving her a dagger. But what I will
Do
do
it.
is I will take out just what like part of my sketchbook, and I will like just rip out some of the like herbology studies I did of like a really nice flower.
Okay.
Well, it's nowhere near as good as the real thing. Well, here, take this.
Really pretty. Thank
Okay.
you.
So
What's your name?
I'm Ash.
Hi, Ash. And who are you?
I'm Hallie.
Hi. I like your hair.
She does have pretty amazing hair, doesn't she?
I want red hair because I think I'd be really pretty with red hair.
Maybe one day you will get red hair.
Oh, that'd be nice.
There's a way you can do that. But not until you're older.
Oh. Okay.
It's mainly because I don't think your mum would approve.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of
Just a
Yeah.
little bit older.
My mum says I have to do loads of things, but only when I'm older. I don't want to be older though. Because when you get older, you start getting like really scrunchy faced.
How old do you think I am?
Well, you're not really scrunchy faced, so I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
say 11.
11. No.
I'm not. I actually don't know how old I am.
Why don't you ask your mummy? My mummy knows how old I am.
You can see Ash kind of like looks up at the sky. Sometimes your parents might not be there in person, so you can't ask them all these questions.
Oh, like my daddy?
Like your daddy, aye. So sometimes they're not there to ask. So I can't go and ask my parents. But
Well, just pretend. Just pretend that you're 11 and then everyone will know that.
I am 11. You were exactly right, Esme.
I knew
You're
it.
so smart.
I am. Hey, bye. And she just
Goodbye.
kind of like skips off with a flower picture. As you guys
She
kind of
It's beyond adorable.
right. So you guys continue on through the main hall. People don't kind of like pay you much mind as you make it out into the main courtyard. And as you kind of make it down the steps, Jove and Michael, you kind of finish up your sparring and kind of walking back together, kind of been like, you know, talking about each other's form and kind of coaching each other on slight improvements and how to like parry and, you know, that sort of thing, talking kind of battle form.
Michael looks like a sweaty Edward Cullen.
Weird image.
Sparkly.
Weird image. But you kind of like intersect each other at the base of the steps near the main door.
Oh, hey.
We have permission to, you know, bury her if we want to do that now.
Yeah, what? Here?
Aye.
Should we?
I spoke to Terry about it. He says V may have a problem with it, but at the moment we can't get to V to ask permission, so I guess we follow in Clovis's footsteps and we ask for forgiveness and not permission.
No, I just meant because she wasn't from here and you didn't want to bury her from places she wasn't from.
More a different realm than where she was from. I think here we can't take her back to Baldur's Gate. That's just not feasible.
No, I just meant outside the monastery. That's what it's called.
Just afraid about the barrier. If
This is the place that Terry suggested is kind of isolated, so it's still within the barrier. It's just a small garden. Nobody will disturb us there.
all right,
I think it's as good a place as any.
Yeah, let's do it.
Feels wrong doing this without Clovis, but I
Well,
suppose
he
they
decided,
already...
he decided to go, didn't he? So he doesn't get a say in what we do.
Let's go. And I'm gonna kind of, without rising to what Jove said, I'm gonna take. I'm gonna
can
start
rise
leading
too.
them. I'm gonna start leading them towards the garden.
Okay.
Jove picks up the cauldron, having seen them struggle to wherever
Hey,
they
we
just
were
got to with
They
it.
were doing
He just-
fine.
What?
They weren't struggling at all.
You said you were dragging it between the
No,
two of you.
I said we were taking it between the two of us, not dragging it.
They were fine. They were perfectly fine.
Well, I
But yeah,
picked it
you,
up anyway.
you pick it up anyway, and you, for the sake of brevity, you guys all get to the garden and kind of find a nice patch within a flower bed, unearth a small hole,
Yeah.
lay feathers down.
Michael's whispering to himself as they're digging the holes, like, well, it kind of feels wrong to be on the end of this.
But you manage to bury feathers. You spend a small bit of time talking amongst yourselves about fond memories that you have with feathers, and you finally lay her to rest.
Penny's been sort of, she does take a respectful sort of step back while you guys do this. Though, can I just note that we did take her coin purse off her before we buried her?
Nope.
We did. We 100% did.
I didn't know she had any. I forgot she had gold.
She's got like 2 grand.
Former character's body.
She's
Wow,
got 2
Charlemagne.
grand worth of gold.
Yeah,
right?
nobody's taking that. That goes with her.
Okay,
That goes.
It's not like you earned it, is it?
Unfortunately, that
I did.
those possessions, unfortunately, they go with feathers.
Okay.
I
mean,
actually was
as-
thinking about that, so...
As we lay feathers down, Jove is just gonna look around and go, "Where's her? Who has her bow?"
Oh yeah. I have that, and I do take it off, and I just hand it to Jove.
No one wants this, right?
We should probably have given that to Killian.
Nah, you don't deserve it.
It's fairly useful. It's fairly powerful, to be fair.
A warrior should be buried with their weapon. She used it non-stop. It goes with her.
Good decision.
I don't know if we bury her with this or with what was her instrument's name?
Luke's dream kiss. No, it wasn't.
No.
That was a bow.
Theodore's loot.
Theodore's loot.
Theodore's loot.
Ah,
Or whether we lay her to rest with Theodore's loot.
or both. She used both. I mean, none of us use bows, so
I can technically use a bow.
I mean, I can technically use it too, just not very well.
Well, I
If you wanted, if you wanted, you can have it. Just say.
No, I don't necessarily need it. I'm just trying to figure out what we bury her with.
Her weapons.
Okay, how about this? Natalie, because Feathers was your character, what would
Yeah.
you like her to be buried with? Including her coin purse.
Probably her loot. Actually, because towards the end,
Yeah.
the loot meant way more to her. I mean, she had no attachment to the bow in the end. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so you bury her with the loot, you keep the bow, you put it in the bag of holding for now.
Yes.
You guys...
Just quickly at the end, as we kind of are like putting our handfuls of dirt on top of Feathers, Ash, for the first time ever, begins to sing. Very badly, but attempts
thought you were about to
sing.
start singing,
No,
and I
no,
was
no,
like,
no,
"Oh!"
no, absolutely not. Begins to sing the song that Feathers was playing when they were on the boat heading up from El Toral.
Oh, amazing. Very well, you do so. You lay your friend to rest. Gather your things. Hallie, you hand Michael his belongings and you hand Jove his.
Mhm.
You all prepare yourself for the long march ahead and start making your way back towards the courtyard. And Jove, as you walk along the side of the monastery back towards the main courtyard at the front, you see a very familiar figure kind of leaning back against the wall, kind of like waiting, and kind of looks at you and just kind of puts a smile across his face and kind of pushing himself off against the wall. Puts his hand on the hilt of his long samurai sword. And for those of you at home, this is Edredor Greyhaven. You see that it is a tall, 6'2" human male with long brown hair tied up in kind of like a half top knot. So most of the hair is kind of down the back of his neck, but most of the hair that would be down his face is tied back in a bow and kind of in a knot behind, not in a bow, in a knot behind his head, not in a bow. He's wearing, he's wearing what looks to be kind of leather armor, but you see that there is it is a chainmail armor set, but with leather armor over the top. And he has this kind of huge kind of cloak with kind of Game of Thrones Ned Stark style wolf fur over the shoulders and down the back of the neck, and kind of clasped just under his chin. He has it's no longer kind of a clean shaven cheeks and goatee, it's more kind of thick stubbled cheeks, but with a heavy set goatee kind of within the mix of this stubble, as he kind of like looks at you with his piercing brown eyes and kind of spots you, Jove, and goes, "Well, fancy seeing you here."
Holy shit. shit, Edrador! And he sort of like runs in and just like grabs him around the thing and just like squeezes a few times before letting him go.
Oh, nice to
Fuck, you made it up here. Of course you did.
nice to see you, big fella. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Just trying to save the world, I guess. Your family make it down here okay? You good?
Yeah, they did. I see you picked up a few waif and strays along the way.
The three
Hallie's
of us
kind
are
of
just standing there like,
Hallie knows him. So Hallie looks at
I'm looking
Ash.
at Hallie.
Uh,
You know this?
I have no idea who that is.
By the way. You don't
Hi.
recognize me, do you?
you're
go on. We're gonna see him mess up my name now. Okay, let me see.
you're Haley,
Joe
right?
just leans in it. Yeah, Joe just leans and goes, it's Haley.
It's
You're-
not Haley, Joe.
I know you. You oh, you and your little brother used to tear around town together.
Yeah, we wound you up a few times or two. Well,
Yeah. How are you?
good. How are the little ones? Oh,
Not
and suddenly kind of realizes the situation. They're okay, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I just asked him. They're fine.
Gove, who are your friends here? I know.
How do you know them?
Haley, we crossed paths a good long while ago now. But who are your two friends here?
Oh yeah, that's right. You haven't seen us since since Greenest.
So many,
Oh,
many
you
months
know.
ago.
Yeah, too many months. How you know? We've only just met her. That's Mike. That's Ash.
Hello, Ash and Mike.
Michael. But
Oh, Michael.
No, just
My
call him Mike.
apologies.
Why are you being weird about it?
It's a pleasure to meet you all.
and yeah, don't worry. I always look this dead.
You look fine to me. You're a lot more alive than most people in this. Anyway, that's a question for another time. Jove, I spotted Clovis last night. He said that
At least
you.
someone did.
Well, in fact, it was just before Ash here was running through the gates at a speed I've not seen people move in a long time, but that's by the by. I spoke to him about what's been going on here, and he says that you are right really in the heart of it, and I said to him that, well, I can't just idly sit here and watch the world turn to shit, and asked if he wouldn't mind me tagging along. And now I know that I've not seen you in a while, but if it comes to a fight, I'm pretty useful in a pinch. You've seen it before. I can handle myself.
Yeah, I know. I was there at Belloc and Agrenas, but your family's here. You should be standing by them.
Let's say I try to wait out this war, and we lose. A fate is going to come to these people, whether I'm here or not. At least out there, I can affect change. At least out there, I can try and do some good. Here, I'm not doing I'm just patrol. Sure, I'm keeping myself busy, but I'm not really doing anything. At least with you and out there, I can be of some use. Don't
You don't
take
need
this from me, Jove. I'm coming if you let me. If you don't, I'll just fucking follow you.
Oh, that sounds familiar. Sorry. You said that last night to Clovis.
Oh yeah, I did.
No,
Weird. Anyway. I mean, I don't know, man. Do you really want to die away from your family? Or have them die away from you?
do
You
you?
want to really take that distance? Mine are dead. I don't have any. I got nothing waiting for me anywhere. So I
Oh.
can go anywhere and do anything and fight anything. And it not matter. You have things that matter. Kids, a wife, people who care. who will
Yeah.
wonder where you have gone when a sword goes through your chest.
I've spoken
Or-
to my wife at great length over food last night. She understands that people in this world have a cause, and sometimes men march off to war. Not the first time I've done it. She understands that sometimes it's an evil necessary, but one that we all must bear. And from what I saw, your other friend left in the middle of the night, so you're down one at least.
2. Well, 3.
So, 3.
He took the dog.
Well, it seems like you could use
Yeah.
all the help that you could get, so I'm coming. Hope that's all right with all of you.
Why'd you ask? Why'd you ask then?
Just wanted to see your reaction.
Hmm.
After
Also
all this
loud.
time, if you truly had missed me or not, it turns out you didn't. So anyway, shall we get moving?
I need to speak to Terry before we head out.
We all do.
Before
Well, he's in the
we do-
courtyard, and
before we do head out, did anyone else make it out better?
I'm sorry to say that not many of us did. Me, my family. I mean, my family were captured when I met Jove way back in the day. We're talking like 9 months ago now. We were soundly asleep, and those bastards tore through the village like it was nothing. Killed so many people. And others they took captive. Thanks to Jove and a few other of his friends, we managed to save my family and a few others, but Ellie, I'm sorry, but
I understand.
maybe they got out. Maybe they went somewhere, I don't know. But when I got back from Greenest, there was nothing left. It was a ruin. I tried. Governor Nighthill sent some folk with me, and we tried to rebuild, but it was just a lot. And he put me in charge, and
I kind of figured as much when they didn't let me know what happened here before I left. It's okay.
like I
Doesn't
said,
mean they're gone. It doesn't mean they're gone, Ellie. You said captured. They could still be somewhere.
Okay. You can see she's kind of shut down a bit. She's just like,
Yeah, you see Ash go to kind of put her hand like on your arm, but kind of stops herself and just kind of keeps it to her side.
well, you look like you're all ready to go, but let's go find Siri. He was over in the courtyard. Should probably still be there.
Okay.
As you all make your way around, you see that Tiri is in fact there, kind of walking up from where the main gate is, back towards where the main door of the monastery is. As he kind of sees you all round the corner and head in his direction, he kind of just a knowing smile, but one that's like kind of soft.
Yeah.
As you all approach, good morning.
Hi.
Morning.
Morning.
I think, for the most part, our business is done here.
Okay.
I think we're ready to head out.
Oh, okay. Well, I did try and hunt around for some things for you. I couldn't put my hand on much, but I managed to get hold of S's locker and pried it open and got a few goodies out of there.
Where is that old fool anyway?
He's out. We sent him out to head over to the garrison, but We haven't heard anything of him since.
Okay. I'll keep an eye out for him then.
Very well. Here. And he just hands you a small satchel.
Mhm.
Everything I could possibly find is in there. I hope you put it to some use.
Thank you, Terry. Really, I know we've had our issues in the past.
It's all in the past. Don't worry. What I said to you last night, I meant.
I know.
Out of interest, did you send Luca out with this as well?
Luca, in fact, headed out some time before once all this really started to kick off in search of his sister.
Right. Okay, well, hopefully both of them make their back.
You find any survivors on the road?
We'll direct them here. I think
Please.
Quinn and Eros are nearby. According to what Clovis said yesterday, anyway. If we see them, we'll point them in this direction too. And
Okay.
Terry, make sure this is simply to keep her distracted, that Esme has plenty of parchment. I've
okay.
kind of
I will.
given her a long-term task to try and keep her occupied.
Very well. Well,
Did you get her father's name at all?
What is her dad's?
I mean,
Stave.
Stave. Nice.
Steve. Okay.
Like stave off. Jove
Okay.
sort of walks forward, sort of like. There seems to have been a demeanor shift in Jove since the night before to now. He's very upright, very sort of serious in the face. There's very little in the way of, not tact, but almost care in a way. And he's sort of, so the pack is, I got tents, water skins, I know you can't spare rations, I've got some of my own, but we're going to be on the road for a few days. Have we got all of that?
No, I can't spare things like that, I'm afraid.
Cool. Okay. Do you have a map of the area? Anything from here to not Baldur's Gate, to Waterdeep?
Not. Most of the archives that we keep are within Vince's office, and we can't get in there.
Okay. Generally on foot, how quick does it take us? What's the travel distance between here and Waterdeep?
Waterdeep is roughly around 5 to 6 days, but the garrison is about 4.
Okay.
I've travelled that route before, from here down. I, however,
Okay.
stopped off in a few cities and towns on the way, which obviously we want to avoid.
I know the way quite well.
I'm also familiar with the route. I've travelled
Yes,
it
we need-
before.
We need to stay off the beaten track.
I
Can't
know.
use roads, we can't use major ways, we need to use the forests, the underbrushes, anything that creates shadow and hiding spaces between here and there.
That's fine. That's what I did when I was searching for her.
Okay.
Well,
Right.
I wish you all the best. Stay safe. Stay alive. Good luck.
We'll be back. And I pull him into a hug.
Yeah, he embraces you and just kind of whispers in your ear, "Please come back."
I will try my best.
Is it his left arm or right arm that's missing?
His left.
His left. Okay.
Curious as to why you want to know that.
Yeah.
just gonna put
Please
out
don't
just
try and
like-
build him a new arm.
No,
Wrong
no,
character.
that's good. That's
I
good.
know.
No, it's just,
The
is he
daggers
your
are
wife? That's
consistent.
the only thing.
Oh,
So,
wasn't
Come on.
ready for
Took
that
the
dad
words
joke.
out of my
Tiri
mouth.
bids you all farewell, and you guys start making your way down the steep steps down towards the high forest area. You continue through the high forest, but is there anything anybody would like to do?
Oh no. I was going to attune to the braces of defense, but it doesn't do anything
Oh
for
god,
me.
sorry.
Oh, does it not?
It's only when you're unarmored or don't have a shield, and I get
Oh, I didn't
more
realise
from my
you had-
armor and my shield.
I didn't realize you had armor.
That's why I gave him to Glomus.
To who?
Yeah.
'Cause he doesn't
To
wear
Clovis.
anything.
Glomus.
Glomus. Got his name
Okay.
already.
Ash is very much kind of. She's compartmentalized all of her feelings away and is very much on, I'm on mission now. And so is keeping an eye out predominantly for movement and any recognizable sight, any creatures that she's met previously in the high forest they're traveling through, and any other people who are trying to find the area.
Jove's pretty much doing the exact same thing. There's probably about a 15-foot gap between them as it's basically a sweep at this point. So he is one side, she is the other end, just through it.
And he's pretty bummed, so she's taken up the rear, and she is following along, but she's keeping. Shut up, you two. She's keeping to herself.
Okay. Edrador is kind of keeping back with you. Every now and again, trying to speak to you about memories that he has of your parents and your brother and you. But realizing that obviously you're not in a talkative mood, he's keeping most of that conversation to a minimal.
Okay.
You guys push through. For the sake of brevity, you will be walking for most of the day before you even reach the precipice of the high forest and the edge where you can breach out into open land. I'm
gonna look for some animals as well on the way.
Okay, well, everyone make me perception checks because everyone's looking out for crazy things.
Did we see Killian? Did we say goodbye to Killian?
I'm also I'm also looking out for Killian, but
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I mean, I assume he's gone home.
I did really well. I got a 5.
Okay, 5. Michael?
Sorry, what am I rolling?
Perception. Sorry, I'm not the DM.
I got a 25.
Whoa!
Damn.
Okay.
Nice.
Michael?
I got a 17, surprisingly.
Okay.
Despite my -1.
Hold on. I just need to check something.
I rolled a 2.
Oh.
I rolled a 17 plus 8.
Okay, hold on. Okay. So that's a 17 as well.
17. Ash,
I
think you're trying too hard.
What do my elven eyes see?
Ashar, what do your elven eyes see?
Nothing, because she's a genasi.
I think you're almost kind of like hyper focused on too many things that
even like a like leaf rustling. I'm like
But by trying too hard, you don't actually see much. Jove and Michael with your 17s. I mean, Michael, you may see the odd squirrel, but everything is keeping out of the way. Like you'll spot it and then immediately like scarper up and vanish. The place you guys kind of realize as you are all walking through this is scarcely like populated right now, where you may have seen like doe and deer rushing through the forest and boar. What? Why are you laughing?
I just meant a female deer.
Oh, what an idiot. What a fucking loser. So you don't see like as many wildlife as you would anticipate. Some of the woodland creatures that you kind of come to know in this area, Ash.
Yeah.
None of them are anywhere. Hallow, you're 25. You do see that. You see more of them than others, but they're like birds. Odd birds. You might see like. Go on, Dan. You seem like you're bursting to try and ask me something. Go.
No. I was literally just saying, when you finished, it's just a polite hand.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, all I want to know is I know it's a quiet forest, but does it look like there's evidence of like over hunting or
no, it's just
things have swept through trying to is it like they've over hunted all the food, or is it just the animals have just fucked off somewhere? It's like weirdly quiet
because
just
fucked off somewhere.
That's
like
fine.
It's not there's no sign of like massive fucking animal genocide or anything like that.
No, but what I mean is, like, if it was hunted, it means they're getting closer. So they're going through the forest hunting, getting the
No,
animals, getting
nothing-
closer to the
yeah, yeah.
monastery,
Nothing.
cutting off food, that kind of shite.
No,
With
there's
my-
no visible signs
No.
like that.
With my
Cool.
triumph 5, would I have spotted the dark clouds from that Clovis spotted the night before?
You'll have seen them as you kind of went out into the courtyard and seen that, but none of the clouds are actually originating from the high forest or anything. So, you can kind of as you're walking through, the longer you walk through this place, you kind of sit back and go, okay, so this has been pretty untouched at the moment. Nothing seems to have rolled through here as you're going through, but most of the day is spent walking through the high forest until you get to the edge of the high forest, towards the back end of the day, kind of late afternoon from where you are.
Just so I can kind of visualize where we're going. So we're like, obviously the grandfather tree is kind of central high forest area. Are we going westward through the Lost Peaks, or are we
You
going
are, yeah.
down?
So you're going westward and you're coming through this way.
Okay, yeah.
So you came down and you're kind of going southwest.
All right, good stuff.
Okay, or west south, or whatever, however you say it. In that,
Southwest.
yeah. So you're kind of pulling through towards the
Cool.
Waterdeep that way, along one of the like not on the path that leads through the thicket,
but
but
kind
like
of adjacent to it.
Yeah, towards it, and that kind of keeping that path. But as you kind of get towards the edge of the high forest, you see, as the kind of trees start to thin and you do get towards the edge in the late afternoon, you see that not too distant distance, whatever.
Not too far away.
Yeah. You see that there is a plume of black smoke just on the near horizon, and kind of like in 2 or 3 different places, but all localized in one little area. And it doesn't look that far away at all. It kind of like looks less than a mile.
Okay.
We all see this.
All of you do that, yeah. Apart from maybe not Ash. Ash is kind of currently staring at the ground looking for people.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, at this point, it's probably the best place to look for people.
But that's what you see, and kind of Edredor kind of places his hand on the hilt of his sword and just kind of goes, seems like the best first place to visit. Might be people in danger.
Do you know what town that is?
I haven't got a clue. Might not even be a town. Ash, you know that from memory that between the edge of the high forest where you are and Waterdeep, along this bit, this is like rural farmland, and there are loads of little like farmsteads and such between here and Waterdeep.
I couldn't see which kind of area it is, but there are quite a few small clusters of homes and farmsteads along this road down.
Looking at the smoke, does it look new or does it look old?
It looks fresh.
I was going to say black smoke means it's burning now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was like a steady sort of age stream or if it was like yeah.
We might not want to run into.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think we can afford this.
but
Does the tree line kind of stay? Does the tree line extend to there?
No.
Or no? Is it open?
Yeah, so you're kind of like getting towards the edge now, and you know that where you see this like black plumes of smoke kind of rising, in the not so far away, in the not so distant distance, you see that it kind of like breaks into more rural grassland, and as you kind of like look off towards there, you do see that off in the distance there is like this fence that kind of is obviously cordoning off this one particular area with what look to be like fields of some form of produce, whether that's wheat, barley, whatever it may be. It's hard to say from here.
Are there hills? Or is it more like
it's not completely it's not complete flatland like Denmark. It's not like from here you can see Waterdeep, that kind of shit. There is hills, there are kind of like peaks and troughs, but it's not like complete mountain ranges or anything.
No.
But yeah,
Can I
And
see
how
any?
how late did you say? It was?
like it's
Sorry.
about late afternoon, 5 o'clock ish. The sun is still up from what you can tell. It is, quite dim at the moment.
Yeah.
Can I see any like? If there was a huge horde of people, like an army, say, like you'd be able to see them from this distance, right?
No,
No, because we all we see is smoke in the sky.
Yeah.
Right.
you don't see, even if it's a mile away from where you're stood, you can't see what's on fire, what's burning, what's producing the smoke. Otherwise, I would have described that. It's kind of like behind the rolling hills and stuff. You just see plumes of smoke coming up.
Dan, I'm just flashing back to that Sunday game from a while ago. We were trying to figure out how much we can see from a mile away.
I know. Is it bigger than a cat?
Yeah. I think I know we don't want any side to be sidetracked, but let's see if we can get a closer look. Still stick from a distance, but Edidor, if you're right, and there are people there who need help,
I agree.
Well,
these
People
monkeys
there.
are really pissing me off.
even if there's not people there to help, but if there's somebody there that is causing this, then at least we might be able to take a few of them out.
There could be answers as well.
Exactly.
Let's get closer and assess from.
I mean, I can appreciate what you're all saying, but there's people suffering everywhere. There's armies marching all across these lands. There's burning all over the place. We can't
Yeah,
rush
but
into the
if we
first
can-
fight we find. After we
That-
just rushed into the first fight we fought. We need
What
to
if
think
there are
smarter.
people? And what
We're
if there
not
are
s-
people in
There's
need?
there's people everywhere, Edrador. This is war.
We're not saying
Exactly.
that
So
we
let's
rush
go and
in.
help.
We're saying we scout it
You
out a
go
bit
and help.
more.
We need to go to the garrison. We need to meet Clovis. We need to find a way to stop this.
We are going
properly.
to the garrison. I thought that was the plan. We're going to the garrison.
Then let's go to the garrison.
Yes,
we just
but we need
walk
to go-
past something that we could potentially alter and change and help. What would have
You can't
happened to
change
me if you had done that back in Greenest, Jove?
Yeah, and you know what? Things have changed, Edrador, okay? That was
You
9
no
months
longer
ago when this
care.
was a lot... No, I care.
Sure.
But I have to think about this properly now. I can't run into every single fight I want to fight. And you
That's
know
why
I
we
can't.
That's why we
Then-
get closer and assess the situation.
And if need be, you stay behind. I'm sure you'll be fine.
Oh, I'm sure you're just going to go out there and slice everyone, Edrador. Go for it.
He just
Do
kind
what
of
you want.
starts walking off from you and just ignoring you. And what we're going to do is, as you guys start approaching, we are going to take a little break here because we are going to have a little bit of a short, a little bit of a shorter session tonight, given that Chris isn't here this week. But we will be back in around 15 minutes, about 1:45. So you guys and girls at home, go and get yourselves a drink, get yourselves refreshed. We'll be back in about 15 minutes, and we're going to find out what the fuck is burning. You know, bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking by us. We've just been tearing a map apart, trying to figure out where people's backstories actually coincide with the map that we have in front of us, and like, what? That was not in the place that I thought. But it's all good. So let's jump back in with everyone. As you all start approaching the plume of smoke. You start going
Lovely.
down a kind of dip and then up a hill that's around 500 yards or so from where you were, as you all start kind of keeping yourselves a watchful eye. And as you kind of get towards the crest of the hill, that's when you see the source of this big plume of smoke. You see that off in the distance there is a small farmstead, roughly around 3 or 4 buildings kind of close together, but then one other rather large, what looks to be a structure kind of in the middle, but within the buildings as well. It's difficult to see from here, but there is plumes of smoke and it's coming from that structure.
So kind of like a building in the middle of almost like a keep type thing, but the keeps are just other buildings.
It's not a keep, but
No. I'm just saying. Like,
hypothetically, it's kind of like it's like a horseshoe-shaped farmstead with a building on the left, back, and right, and there is a giant, large structure type thing in the middle, solid structure in the middle of this thing, and there's plumes of smoke coming from it and a little bit away from it as well. Sort of in a line, as if something has kind of moved across into the farmstead.
Okay.
So it's not part of the farm itself?
No, it's not.
Do we see people?
Make me a perception check. It's going to be difficult to see from here, though, so I'm going to need you to make it with disadvantage.
Can I look to the sky?
Yes.
You
lift your head up and see the sky.
I got 11.
11. It's difficult to see from here. You do see that there is some movement, but you don't know if it's people, livestock, or what.
Fuck you.
What are you looking for in the sky, Ash?
I'm just conscious. I think Ash at the moment is kind of like thinking about the line of destruction and is casting her mind back to all the stuff she's read about dragons and is looking for anything large in the sky.
Make me a perception check with disadvantage again, because the sky is darkened. There is cloud everywhere. It's not. 12. You don't see anything that resembles a dragon or any flying creature within the sky.
This structure in the middle. What does it look like? Like, does it look like it's been built there, or it's just been plonked there? Like, is there
does not look like it's been plonked there? No.
You know what I mean.
It doesn't look like it's a pre-existing structure that was built there.
But what does it look like? Is it a tower? Is it a building? Is it?
It kind of
short.
It's kind of tall from the ground. It kind of looks like it kind of protrudes a little bit from the ground. So it's taller than the top of the homestead. And the farmstead buildings, like it kind of like sticks up a little bit and kind of to a small little, like a little bit of a point.
Is it moving?
It is not.
How far are we from the farm? Sorry, just
you're a bit of a distance. As I say, it's a mile away. You've gone around 200-300 yards, so it's a bit of a fair bit. You kind of as you kind of like get up to the top of the hill, this is where like the fence line begins and that kind of the farmland starts to this farmstead.
Anyone see anything?
I see movement up ahead. I can't really tell from this distance what it is. It could be animals, it could be people. There is movement.
I can't see anything in the sky. I don't know. I can go closer, stay low, scout it out.
Hold on. Joe's going to turn to Zayla and just say, right, stay high, do a circle, see what you can see. Come back to me, okay? And he's going to let her go do a sweep of this thing.
Okay.
Being relatively high from the ground, like not
Sailor going
Also,
into the
either she
fray
can't see
first.
things, but just, once around, see what she can spot, comes back.
Okay, make me a perception check, please. As Zayla, she sets off into the sky and starts flying towards.
Yes.
In
Hold
the
on.
meanwhile,
I've not got
are
a
we
sheet up in
sitting
such a long
tight
time. Yes,
Oh,
we
don't-
are.
I don't think
Right.
they can see us. I mean, we can hardly see them.
Just keep low to the
Just
ground.
keep low.
Okay. Option
where's
is-
our friend?
Edgedoor's right next to you.
Okay, so that will be a 17.
17. Okay. So she starts making her way and flying over this farmstead, relatively high in the sky. What are the rest of you doing while she's gone?
Make sure
I'm
that we
waiting for it to
look
come
all
Wait
back.
around
until she
us.
comes back. Yeah.
You're not doing anything? You're not moving closer? I know, Ash, you mentioned about heading in and
I-
scouting it out.
If it's okay with you guys, I'm going to stay low. I will not approach. I just want to get a bit more of a grasp on what's going on. I will not go far.
I mean, just wait for Zayla to get back. She'll tell us what she sees, then you can make a better plan.
Fine.
I actually
What do you,
agree
what do you,
with
what
the
do you want to run in
cautious-
for?
I just want to do things.
Don't we all? But we
Well-
need to be smart about the things we do now.
Okay, I'll wait.
What is the
What-
terrain like? Is it like long grass? Like, can we like?
It's
have we got
it's
cover in
kind
any
of
way?
it kind of isn't long grass. It would have been, but it looks like it's kind of dying out, so it's rather wilted. It's not as tall as you would anticipate it being on like a typical farm that's keeping the spring crops tall, and it's kind of most of it's wilted. There's not there is a bit of coverage, but it's only up to around waist height. This, and it kind of is all kind of drooped and that sort of thing. So you would have to keep very low and make me. Because you're not looking that far ahead, Hallie, I want you to make me a perception check normally, please.
Do you want my passive or?
No. Roll a perception check, please.
It's 22.
22. From where you're stood, and while these guys are kind of talking about what the plan is and what we want to do and stuff, you've been kind of looking, keeping an eye out, and kind of you're tracing back from the farmstead back to where you are. And you see that typically in these farms, after a certain or so meters of plantation, they usually leave like a meter gap before the next plant, just because of the way farms work. They need the ability to walk through the crops when they're growing and such, and you can kind of spot where that is and figure out that there is a way in order for you to kind of walk through these fields to get a bit closer if you wanted to, around 200 feet from
Okay.
the farmstead.
Spotting that, Jov, I actually think there is a way of getting closer, not right on top of it, but about 200 feet away. If we go down, and I'm like sidling up to him, and so I'm showing him the sort of path through the thing. If we stay low, we could get closer, without being seen.
Good way forward once Sailor comes back. I can also use magic to disguise our approach as soon as we get closer.
Let's just find out what this thing is, or if there's anything even worth going towards. We don't want to set off traps. We don't want to walk into things where people are expecting us. It's been a long time. They have a big, firm grip, I don't know why I put it that way, on this part of the world. And I just don't want us.
Look, an ambush that I've never seen ambush set up in a like this. It's
Well, we haven't seen.
I get what
well
your
for
means
about
are saying,
6
but
months.
We don't know what they can do now. We don't know anything. So
I'm
let's
happy to wait. I'm just saying.
just see what Zayla says. After that, we can do something. Fine, we'll do something. So we won't. I just want to know.
Well, as you guys are discussing, Zayla is making her way back and kind of lands on your shoulder and... Well, it's nothing like I've ever seen before. It seems as though whatever it is, it wasn't supposed to be there. It seems that The earth itself has been torn apart, and it looks as if something has crashed there. It's a wooden thing, sort of like a ship, but this far from the ocean.
Oh, okay.
What
No, I
sort
was
of ship can
I'm
crash this
explaining.
far inland?
I'm saying.
Oh,
everything
sorry, yeah.
She says, by the way.
Yeah. So you're kind of
Yeah.
talking aloud,
Yeah.
and yeah. There are also people down there, people rummaging through the wreckage. Not just people, but they have beasts with them. Almost like me in nature, but not quite like me.
Okay.
Do they look? Are they kind of bluish in color? Wings bigger than their bodies. They
Not.
like
They don't look like they can fly.
Okay.
But
Hello?
I think she went.
Oh, yeah, I think she's frozen. Oh, you back?
sorry.
There we go.
Yeah.
Did you freeze or did you just stop for a second? That was really good.
Yeah, I know. You just kind of went.
No, I froze, and then I moved, and then no, go on.
They seem to be searching through the wreckage, and I don't know what it is, but I don't understand how a ship can be this far from the ocean.
If something has been dropped, I don't know if it was intentional or not, and they flocked to it. There might be something important there.
Has Hallie, DM Christian, has Hallie ever heard of airships of any kind?
Oh, none of you have.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
They
But
do not exist in this part of the world, or they have nobody on this continent has ever had one, come across one before.
I'm kind of curious. As I said, there is that route that's close.
If there's no one in danger, if there's nothing there that's worth going towards, do we want to do
You
this?
said there was people, right?
Yes, scavenging, not, not suffering.
But if the cult is there and they're looking for something, what if there's something they're after?
I mean,
We need to
Still
stop them from getting.
they steal everything shiny. Anything that's worth even a little thing, they could just be looking for nothing. Like, if you want to go, we'll go. It's fine. I get what we're looking at, but I
If
just
they're
want to be
taking,
clear.
if they're taking prisoners or people from places, just because we saw people scavenging doesn't mean there isn't people to save either. I mean, I think this is right.
I mean, look, if somebody threw a ship from the ocean to here, I don't think anything's alive on there. But
I
get your
can't
point.
imagine something that size that could do that.
Oh, I bet there.
As much as I hate to say it, I kind of agree with Jove, The whole point was we were going to see if there was anybody in danger or anybody in trouble. If it doesn't seem like that, then maybe it's best we just move on.
Well, if they're gathering materials for something, that can't be good.
Doing that
I am
for the-
worried if the cult is there, us bringing certain things in our possession close to them could make things worse off.
I mean, that's gonna happen either way.
I know. But it's best to stave off the inevitable as much as possible.
Sailor, how many did you see?
I'll be honest, there's quite a few.
Rough
They
number?
look-
I don't know numbers very well. More than us. Probably double our number.
All right, so we're looking at 8 to 10 people with beasts. Do they look like the people in silver we've seen before? The robes, the masks, that kind of thing, or are they just...
Some of them
Guys in
did,
leathers.
yes. Some of them did,
Yeah.
yes.
Look,
We keep moving
we have to move.
to the garrison. We can send word that this is happening.
Will this take us far off our course by going around? I'm just thinking of the time added to our journey, that's all.
I mean, we know what it's like to walk somewhere and a lot of time go by. I think we'll be fine just walking away from this. It's not going to add much time. Day's already fading. You know what the time's like here.
I don't want to rest anywhere near this place. So, okay.
Well, maybe we head back to the edge of the forest at least, and then
Whoa!
Mike, your head, it's huge.
You do this every week. You touch your camera somehow, and then it does this weird stuff. Like, learn to not do things.
Don't touch.
Oh my god.
Well, Edredor just kind of there you go. Edredor just kind of turns and goes, "Do you think it's worth just maybe heading back down to the edge of the forest? At least we got a bit of cover."
Aye, and we go on from there.
Bed
You
down
stick
for
to
the
low
night.
light as much as possible.
Yeah, but from here to there might not be much.
No, we go back to the forest. We stay in the underbrush, keep to the edge, make our way as far as possible. Right.
Very well.
Let's
Okay.
move. As we
Right.
turn, and everyone's sort of low, Jove just turns to Ash and he just looks at her very sincerely, goes, "Thanks," and
She
carries
doesn't.
on.
Yeah, she doesn't say anything. She just keeps walking.
Okay, you all turn back and start heading back. You manage to get back to the edge of the high forest. Again, it's only a couple of 100 yards, but you manage to get back. I'd like someone to make me a survival check, please, to try and find a secluded little area to bed down for the night.
Jove check.
What's your survival, Joe? What's
My
your
survival, I've got advantage on it at +4, and I get an extra D4 because of my orc stuff. So
Okay, cool.
I will do that. Okay. Oh, that's good. Okay, that is 24.
Okay, yeah, I mean, with a 24, you definitely find an area within the forest. It isn't quite on the tree line, but it's a little bit set back, and you manage to find this quite dense thicket of bushes that you kind of manage to kind of fly and kind of make a little bit of a camp behind. Edredor isn't carrying a pack, isn't carrying much with him at all in that regard. He just kind of like takes his cloak off, lays it on the ground, kind of, you know, settles himself down on it. Evening is starting to creep in, though, if there's anything anybody wants to do.
If I see him bedding down just on his cloak, I will get out my bedroll and
I was
offer it
just
to him.
about to do the same.
Beat you to it.
I wasn't.
Yeah, me either. You can sleep on the floor.
He didn't come prepared. It's his fault.
You just see Hallie and Mike being like, "Oh, do you want a bed?" And we're just like, "No."
My
Oh.
bad.
It's actually funny that you should say that, Michael, because you don't have a bedroll. Because
That's true.
everybody else is sleeping on the
all-
floor. Hallie, you're about to offer the only bedroll in this party to Edredor.
A bedroll in my. I have a bedroll in my
I have a
equipment.
bedroll.
You took all of your sleeping equipment was in the tent when it was destroyed.
I thought we had like
What?
You
beds
made
in there.
all,
Yeah,
I thought,
beds.
but when you went in there, did you not use all that sort of stuff to
I
make?
have my hammock.
I just used whatever rugs and throws were around and threw them on the floor. I said this when we first got to make rooms. I destroyed my bed and made a thing out of just stuff.
So you
I've
destroyed
always
your
had-
bed.
Yeah, I was always just laying on like a big pile of clothes.
Okay.
Cloths.
Okay.
Anyway, I do offer my bedroll to him
Okay.
while you decide.
I mean, it doesn't
Um,
fucking make much of a difference, does it? Let's cut to brass tacks. Whether you have a bedroll or not, the impact of a bed or no bed is not going to derail the. Well, you all fucking die, and the cult wins. So, do you know what I mean? So
I love how serious you got about that for like 2 seconds. I went, actually, fuck it. I don't care.
literally, I was like, wait, mind you, it's a bedroll. What the fuck am I doing? Like, it doesn't matter, does it?
I then climb a tree, nearest to the outside of the.
Mark went, no bed. That's what my dad always called me. Oh, not bad.
No bad.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. Yeah, no.
Oh, guys.
This
So,
on the uptake, right?
yeah,
No,
you still,
I climb a
still
tree
offer-
near the tree, close to the tree line, and I'm going to sleep up in the tree.
Okay, no problem.
Before
Scouty
everyone
position.
jumps around, Joe's going to hand just like a single water skin around so everyone can have like a quick drink. Take some rations out of his bag of colding, just hand them out so everyone's got basic food for the night, and just make sure everyone's fed and watered so they can bed down properly and be super for the morning.
Yeah.
Don't start a fire. I know it might be a bit chilly, but I don't want them to be able to see any smoke.
I mean, I lived outside for most of my childhood, so I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Not the tree I go.
Why are you sleeping in a tree? Just out of curiosity.
High ground. I have it. No, sorry.
You underestimate their power.
Fuck all you guys.
I'll be higher than all of you.
Just it's a tactical advantage. I'll be able to see things come in. I don't need to sleep as much as the average human. So I can see things coming if I need to.
Were you smirking at me there?
Never.
You're a human,
No, I'm saying.
not you.
To be honest,
him.
Oh.
I don't fucking know what I am.
No.
Oh, actually, no, I'm not my elf. No, I don't.
I was
I'm sorry.
tiefling.
Yeah.
I was like, what kind of tiefling are you?
I still take the tree. I mean, I'm happy there.
You guys bed down for the night, and
Yes.
you take watch throughout the night, waking each other up periodically and keeping a watchful eye out. Fortunately, nothing actually happens to any of you or the camp during the night. You kind of all gain the benefits of a long rest again.
Yay!
For anyone that spent a single spell slot or anything, you gain all of that back. I don't think anybody has done anything since the last time, but you gain it nonetheless.
Nope.
Those of you that can
Ooh.
change spells at long rest, you are more than welcome to do so.
Working on it.
I will roll when we wake my cosmic die.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
I will roll my
That
axe.
is even, which means I get to take shit away from people rather than add shit this time.
Amazing.
And
Okay.
I got a 3.
Oh.
Cool.
So you all managed to get a long rest, and you all kind of wake in the morning, pack up the small camp that you, like rudimentary camp, you've all kind of just bedded down and huddled together for the evening and got some rest. It is early morning. You have a full adventuring day ahead of you. What is the plan? Now, I
Michael's
appreciate...
creating using his cauldron the first thing in the morning.
Okay.
Now
Because
that it's
he can.
empty.
It's once we said a week, right?
No,
For the
Well,
healing.
I mean
potion.
for the healing, yes, but
But I thought the
I can create
cauldron...
potions.
thought the cauldron loses its all effect. Or once you've used the thing, it can't you can't use anything on it until...
Yeah, well, no.
Well, technically,
once
it's been
you
6
use
months
the,
since we used it
No,
last.
it's not.
Once
You took it
you
with you.
use the healing,
Hmm.
once you use the or once you use the basically the resurrection,
Hmm.
you can't use it for 7 days. You can't use that property for 7 days.
Okay, so you can use other parts of it. Okay, that's fine. I couldn't quite remember the wording of the item, so that's fine.
So in the morning when you wake up, Michael's around, basically around the cauldron, and he's just looking at you guys and just go, I have no fucking clue what I did, but I did it right. And you can just see how something's bubbling inside the cauldron. And then
It just peers
shrinks
over and
down,
goes-
and it's like a little jug. Like the cauldron goes into like a little jug size.
Okay.
I'm not eating that. That's not food.
No, it will help if we get damaged. Basically, a healing potion.
Oh, save it for yourself then. I'm good.
Okay.
Handy.
That's great.
Do we want to scout out that homestead again. They may have passed on. There may be survivors. I mean, like Edredor, you said that you were left in Belloc. There may be survivors there now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to just take your lead. I'm sorry for yesterday, Jove.
No, it's fine. I am too. It's just
just
get the right head on for these things, don't you?
Yeah, but I need you to know where my head's at. And if we can help people while we're out here, that's what I want to do. I don't suggest that we put ourselves at risk, and I understand that you're cautious, and you don't want to put us at risk and your friends here at risk, and I get that. But if we are the only ones out here that are fighting for good between us and the garrison, then just gotta do it. There's far weaker people out here that aren't able to defend themselves, aren't able to put a stop to what's coming for them. But we just might. Now, if the fight's tipped in their favor, then fine. If it isn't worth the risk, I will take your lead, but if we can help people, then we just gotta try.
We are trying. We just gotta be smarter about it now.
I get that. You're right. We probably shouldn't have rushed in, and we didn't. We did the right thing. Now we got a long road between us and the garrison, and there's lots of danger on the way. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
You see Ash is kind of tucked off to one side, still within eyesight of everyone, and takes out the sending stone again and just says, "Just checking you're alive. There's some thing that seems to have come from the sky near... Is it near the Evermoors? Is it that side, or is it on the south side?"
It is roughly here.
Okay. There seems to be something that's seemingly come from the sky, some cultists, towards the edge of the high forest by the Star Mountains. Just keep an eye out. There's cultist activity nearby. I hope you're safe.
You hear back. I'm all right. I've been traveling through most of the night. I think I'm around a day's march from Quinn. Once I've rendezvoused there, then I can enact my plan, such as it is. I'll see you soon.
See you soon. And I will rejoin with the rest of them. He's okay.
No, Dan just looks like really perplexed.
No.
I don't know if he's in character or if he's actually like, what?
Never tell.
Constantly. It's method acting, darling. No. Yeah, when Ash comes over and says anything, where is he?
He says he's about a day out from Quinn.
Quinn?
Aye. Apparently he's meeting her. He said that they were close.
I thought he was going to Waterdeep to scout out whatever's going on.
He said to me about infiltration. And Quinn is very adept at that, so maybe he's asking for her help.
Who's Quinn?
His daughter.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Doesn't seem like the father type, does he?
He's very old.
I wouldn't have said that, but yes.
It's
Right, we need
crazy.
to keep moving.
So, because travel fucking sucks in D&D.
Yeah, it does.
This is not my favourite part of D&D, so I'm going to fucking fast travel you guys.
Yay!
I
Nearest campfire.
and you are almost at the
Just for one
was
little
so
thing,
quick.
just to save kind of water rations. At one point when we bed down again, you see Ash kind of look up and pull her hands together, and a little storm cloud appears, and from it rain begins to pour, and she takes out a big cup, and I cast Create Water.
Okay.
Into
Do you
the cup
guys-
around.
I need a group stealth check. I need a stealth check twice, please. So one for day one, One for day 2. Sorry for you.
With a burp in the middle.
I had a chicken kebab at the break, and it's kind of sat there going, "Oh my god, it was so good."
Okay.
Okay. So, on the first day, you're always eating kebabs, man. I am a kebab. I am a kebab.
Human kebab.
Day 1, Hallie?
17.
Jove?
18.
Michael?
12.
Ash?
22.
Edredor?
Oh shit! Of course.
Welcome to our live.
What? He's got disadvantage, but a really high stealth. That's.
I'm glad Killian's gone.
All right, 16 for Edredor.
16 with disadvantage. Yeah, he has got a really high. That's why I built him that way. Because I was like,
It's for stealth.
Stealth. Well, he's not really. I don't like that chainmail gives you disadvantage as well. I think that's a bit of a bullshit rule because you can pad chainmail out. Anyway.
Yep.
So, I love you, wizards. Please don't come after me. So you guys make it successfully through your first day. You kind of keep into lowlands. You're making sure that a lot of the time you are out of sight, making sure you're being as stealthy as you possibly can, and you make it through the first day unseen. You get another a fair few miles. You probably get around 18-20 miles on foot over an 8-hour period. But you managed to make it that far, and you found a quiet little gully with some rock formations and such that you can kind of bed down behind. The following day, you all set out again with the goal in mind of making it as far as possible on this third day, knowing full well that the garrison is probably going to be within sight within the next 48 hours. So, second day, Hallie, what was your stealth check?
Didn't roll the second one. 20 day.
20, Jove.
4.
Hey. Edredor?
12 for Edredor.
12, Michael.
15.
15, Ash.
27.
27?
I rolled that 20.
I am like the wind. Okay. Okay. Not as successful as you were the day before. You are still remain unseen, however, and you don't draw any attention to yourselves, and you make it within. You can only assume that, given that Tiri said it's 4 days walk from the garrison, you're roughly around a day away, and that you would make the garrison the next day. Where we pick up, you guys have bedded down for the night, got another long rest, and you are roughly around a day's march from the garrison.
Just before we bedded down that evening, I would have tried to do some light foraging, not going too far away from the group, and I'm foraging for stuff like berries and mushrooms and forageable food. But I would have done that.
Michael would have done the same, joined you, but he's looking for meat. He's looking for squirrels, rabbits, anything he can find.
Okay, no problem. That's absolutely fine. So, just before we go any further, I keep getting a message on my OBS saying that the video coder is overloaded. Is the stream still coming through clearly?
It looks to be on, from what I can see.
Yeah.
So if anyone at home that's watching, can you just let me know, is it coming through clearly, all the audio and everything? Because I keep getting this message pop up. Clear, yes.
Yep.
Perfect.
Cool.
Ace.
Thanks, Mark.
Make me a nature check, please, and also a survival check. You can make it with advantage if you want, Hallie, because Michael's helping you out, or you can make it individually. Whatever you want to do.
I was really good at nature then, but I forgot that was Hayden.
Yeah,
That's not Ash.
That's not you.
Do we want to do with advantage or separately?
I'll do it with advantage.
Okay.
I've got a 19 to nature.
Okay, and survival, please, advantage.
That was a nat 20, so I don't really just for a 25.
Okay, you managed to find a small berry bush, and you managed to find a few mushrooms, but because you've never come across these before, you are unsure if they are edible or not. I mean, they're all edible, it's just about what they do to you, I suppose. Anything's edible if you had enough constitution. I've heard a story about a woman that eats drywall. So you can eat anything, really. It's just about the effect
If I
it
was
has on you.
unsure about whether it was poisonous or trippy, I would have left it where it was.
Okay.
Oh, I
No
would
problem.
have said, because basically for this travel, I've prepared prepared create water and also purify food and drink.
Okay.
So,
Okay, if I think that she can purify it, I'll bring the mushrooms back to the
Okay.
camp.
That's fine. And that's the night before, so you managed to
Yeah.
bring all that back. Ash, you managed to cast Purify Food and Water that night and rid it of any foul and otherwise unwanted effects.
You see Jove pick up a mushroom and then just launch it clear into the forest and go, nope.
There is
I come
food!
back with 1 or 2 squirrels. Just go. These two.
I don't eat meat, so but enjoy.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
He says
I nudge Hallie and I just give her a nod.
I mean,
as the two nod at each other, you just see Jove
you
pull
do
the skin
know this.
straight off
I've
a squirrel and
told
like throw it against a tree.
Jove.
Yeah, even Etridor goes, whoa.
What's that? That's how you skin a squirrel. What? Have you never skinned animals before for food?
No,
but I know-
no.
I often
I can
wouldn't.
talk to them.
What, now?
Do you want to?
This
Not
is what I was
now.
talking about. This is why I don't eat meat, because people like Hallie can talk to them.
So,
Really,
Anyway,
Really cool. Can you talk to, like, all of the animals?
Yeah.
That's amazing. You're going to have to show me that one time. I'd love to talk to animals.
It can sound a bit weird, like
If-
from an
if he-
outside
if he keeps
perspective,
going
but
on, about how he wants to talk with animals, Mike's gonna chuck a squirrel at him.
He just kind of lets it hit him, like, let it drop to the ground, kind of looks at you, and then looks back at Ali without even paying it any attention, and just kind of goes, if you can teach me to do that, I'd love that.
just hear Jove next to him, just like grumbling, like, "Come on, man, that's food." Jesus.
I don't know if I can teach someone how to do that, but I can most certainly try.
Oh, it's an incredible talent to have.
It can come in handy.
You must be very proud of yourself. I am not one for talking to animals. I'm very good at poking things with very sharp sticks.
I'm not good at that. Maybe you can teach me how to. I'm not going to say that.
I would be
Get
happy
a tree, guys. Get a tree.
I'd be more than happy to. Yeah, I'm married.
With kids.
Yeah, grow up.
I thought you'd be
Visual.
fun when you. I thought you'd be fun when you came along, Edrador. You're a real drag, you know that. Anyone want squirrel stew?
I would
No,
love
cool.
some. Okay. You
I
guys
love
have.
it. Squirrel
He
stew.
genuinely looks at Edrador and just goes, "No."
You guys,
Starts like cutting bits off the squirrel.
that's fine. You guys have a good meal, bed down for the night, and wake up the next day ready for the adventure ahead. You set off in the morning with the destination of the garrison. You are not sure what that means, what to anticipate, what to expect, but you set off nonetheless.
Once we hit the edge of the forest, as we are, it does become more flatlandish, or is it still quite rolling hill-esque? Like, is it
Right,
plains, or is it more?
The edge of the forest.
Yeah, I assumed we were still in the forest, like
No,
towards
we're
the
not.
edge
We're
before we
Been
left.
traveling way.
No, you've traveled 3 days. You've traveled over farmland, over hills,
Oh,
through
where are
rocky
we now? Then?
terrain. Where are you now? You're roughly around there, yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought we were still over this way.
No.
Oh. Well, I don't know. It's a map with no markers.
we've been going for days.
Okay. Then yeah.
So yes, you are well and truly from the edge of the forest, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
your question. There is no more forest.
So where we are
It's
from the,
weird.
like,
Jove just kind of wakes up and goes, "Wait,
Let the forest go.
There were treats.
wait. Was there a forest here last night? Did you move me?
something is different.
Yeah.
Something's
Jove
wrong. I
senses
can
are
feel it."
I feel like Jovi's the person that you put on, one of those blow-up beds and push into the water, and when he wakes up, he goes, "It's not my bedroom."
Yeah. So you guys start heading off in the general direction of Waterdeep. I need you all to make me a stealth check, please.
Go again.
Oh, and chat, it's
That's
it's just a massive map of the thing that we're looking at. That's why we haven't put it
I mean,
out.
we can show you the map. Let's show them the map.
I really like these dice, actually.
I'm loving this
so if I
one.
go combat, oh no, that's the wrong one.
Can
I didn't
you
mean to
say
show
that?
anybody that. I was on the wrong one.
I saw nothing.
That was my naughty
So
picture.
let's show you guys where they are.
Are you
so,
showing them your browser history?
No, just the
No.
map that you guys didn't want to do anything with.
I
So these guys were over here. This is where the monastery is, but where they are now. Yeah. Just on the outskirts of Waterdeep. There you are. Show me the map. There you are, Mark.
There's the map, Mark.
So that's where these guys are. You're roughly a day or so's travel from Waterdeep at this point, and you guys set off in the morning towards Waterdeep.
I'd have a pretty good idea where I was at this point, right? Just having lived in this area, been around here. Where did again, garrison is this way, sort of towards...
Nope.
I assume that's a river?
Nope, that's not where the garrison is at all. You don't know where the garrison is.
Oh, I thought we did. Or we had an idea.
You have an idea that it's around here somewhere.
Okay.
Around Waterdeep, yeah.
That's a lot of water deep. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing? Let's go in there.
Stealth.
Check. Of course, that's what I had to do. It's all right.
I got a nat 20.
I got it at 19.
I got a 14 for a 15.
26.
Michael?
24.
11 for 13.
11 for 13. And Edredor?
Edredor?
Oh yeah, of course.
Honestly, man, I'm going to give him to someone else next week, because you're rubbish.
What?
You're not taking care of him.
You literally went,
Don't take
oh,
it.
it's another martial class, I can do it.
Yeah, in combat, not anything else. I don't care about outside of combat.
Okay.
And this is where we went wrong with Killian.
Yeah, no. Care more,
Yeah,
man.
he got a 15.
You're 15, okay. You guys managed to keep low and keep unseen, and you make it to the edge of this wooded area. For those of you that are accustomed and know this area, you know that this forest kind of runs right up into the doorstep of Waterdeep, and it's quite a heavy forest, so there is lots of cover and natural cover to the surrounding areas, and it would make sense that this would be roughly where the garrison would hold up, and they would use the natural defenses of a forest to put themselves in.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if we assume it's here, do we just walk in a
Keep
straight
going.
line and hope for the best?
We keep an eye out. It is likely going to be trapped as a defense.
Good to know. Look out for traps.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
bear traps? or-
Potentially, I don't know what the garrison are using, but if you were trying to keep somewhere safe and hidden from a cult,
Big hole. Big holes with sticks that are spiky. Big things that swing down.
Also, look up in the trees.
Right, it seems like a lot of things to try and look out
Like,
for. I'm just
right?
going to look right in front of me and hope for the best.
I'll look on
Okay.
the ground to see if there's any like bear traps or spikes.
There isn't.
It's next to
DM
you.
Yeah, as you
as
go-
we're going in.
Oh, I thought you meant
Keeping
now.
an
I was
eye
like,
No,
there
More
isn't.
as we
Okay.
go in, keeping
As
an eye out.
as we go in, Joe just looks to Ash and goes, "All right, same as we've done before. A couple of feet apart.
Scout
Look around."
You guys start heading in, and the air seems to get close as you start heading into this forest, similar to the way it was in the High Forest. You go in around half an hour or so on foot, making sure that you're being vigilant, checking before you step for any traps or tripwires or anything like that, and there doesn't seem to be. After around an hour or so, yeah, I need a marching order, please.
So it's
We'll
going
go
to be, Jove and
Well,
I
yeah.
up front, just a bit apart, and then I
Mm.
assume the others.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine that you kind of keep him pretty close together at this point as
Yeah.
you're going through anyway.
Mm.
Ash and Jove, you kind of being a few feet ahead, you hear as arrows hit the ground around 3 or 4 feet in front of you to stop you dead in your tracks.
Immediately raise my hands in the air.
So does Jove.
Oh,
Told you, trees.
who goes
My
there?
close.
We're allies.
Allies of
Well,
who?
The
Well,
Order.
that depends. If you're Dragon Cult, we're definitely not allies.
Mike, now's not the time,
We
kid.
come from the Order.
Drop your weapons on the ground and take 2 paces back from them. All of you.
Jove unhooks his axe and the hammer and just places them gently down, but
I am
takes
only
one
taking
step
off
back.
my staff. I'm not doing the whole thing again. I'm putting my staff on the ground and I'm taking a step
Are
back.
we
Sure.
genuinely disarming? Oh, okay.
Edredor just kind of like unsheaths this, and you see that it is a giant katana. Swings it round a couple of times and stabs it in the ground. And like as he like steps back, he holds onto it and then lets go, and it kind of like swings in the ground like whoom.
Yeah, it does.
As he kind of like takes a step back but doesn't raise his hands, almost kind of like tucks them into his cloak. Takes a couple of steps back.
With whom do we
Ali?
speak?
Wait a second.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
play. If everyone's disarming, you do see that I'm a bit taken back. The readiness to disarm.
Okay.
Okay, and I put my staff down and I walk a couple of space back.
Okay, Michael.
Yeah, put the archer blade down. Put my my sword down and my shield on top of them both.
Okay. As you all kind of take a few steps back, from 2 trees next to you, 2 people just kind of step out with bows, just and you see from in front of you 2 more guards with bows drop their invisibility spell right in front of you around 5 feet, and both hold bows. And then as you guys hold your hands up, you hear from rustles of leaves from behind, and you are circled by around 8 to 10 guard-like individuals, men and women dressed in various different armors, various different colors, no kind of true insignia. Just a couple of them with the lion crest of the Lord's Alliance. There is one individual with a harp on their chest, on their leather armor. There are a couple that have no insignia at all, just wearing kind of like cloak and cloth clothing, and they look like mercenary types. There is one kind of tall, blonde kind of elven woman that's kind of stood towards the back, that has her bow kind of pulled in a different way to everyone else, kind of down, so that the bow is horizontal.
Sideways.
Yeah, like horizontal with 3 arrows knocked at once, whereas the others are kind of all just one, holding it traditionally. She's got 3 holding like towards you all.
Go off.
What's your business here?
We're here to meet with the people of the garrison.
What business have you got with them?
We're here to help. We're here to fight against what is sweeping through these lands. Same as everyone else.
Well, I think we'll be the judge of that. Collect the weapons. And you see, like,
I'd really rather you didn't do that.
a couple of them just kind of step towards and start picking your weapons up.
The blonde woman,
Mhm.
the elf. Do we recognize her?
It's not
Okay.
who you think it
I
is.
thought it was her.
Yeah, it's not Trilara, don't worry.
Damn it.
But a couple just kind of like let the bows loose, but hold them, but then kind of walk, keeping an eye, but slowly picking up your axe, Jove, and then Ash's staff, and picking your weapons up, and then kind of coming back, and like,
Able to pick up are any of them able to pick up the hammer? Just out of curiosity, because I dropped that as well.
Yeah.
Do
I mean, they
just-
pick
Do they have
every,
the- do they have the strength for it? Is my point.
they pick all of your weapons up. Between them, they pick all of your weapons up.
Okay.
They stay within sight. The ones. with
What, your
weapons.
weapons? They do, yeah.
Okay.
Right. March this way. none of them stop holding arrows in your direction.
Are their faces covered?
Most of
Or are
them,
they
yeah.
just no one recognizable? No, cool. All right, fine.
I appreciate
we
that
have
you're
to do?
doing your job. Take us to your leader.
Yeah.
She legit says that.
Yeah.
No, you.
And no sudden movements. First sign of any funny business, we'll put an arrow in you.
Nothing about this is funny. Let's just walk.
And they march you through the forest, and as you continue marching through, and you think that, we must be at the gates. If these people, you march for a good hour through the forest, the people marching with you, holding their bows towards you, and making sure that you are fully watched and circled the entire route through. And they see you.
So carry on.
No, go on.
I was just saying, so what, they keep knocked for the entire hours and they do not let the tension go in their arms at all?
Between them, some of them will, while
Yeah.
others then draw.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say before you asked, but yes.
Yeah. So
Well,
At the order of no sudden movements, you see Ash, like, she starts walking really disjointedly, as though she doesn't actually remember how to walk at a normal pace. And she's just, like, clunking along, trying not to move fast.
Joe's just behind her, like, what are you doing?
I'm trying
Walk!
to not make any sudden movements.
But you remembered how to use your legs, right?
Not at this pace, no!
Well, at least you can stop fluffing about with your arms. You look like I don't know,
What's
a
that?
mannequin or something.
You guys
Like
continue
Sam.
walking for around an hour, and then as you kind of are brought through past this small stream where the earth itself is kind of above you, and you're kind of walking through the stream, you kind of turn a corner and go up a slight hill, and as you're coming up the slight embankment, these wooden palisades, heavily guarded wooden palisades with guards on the top of these palisades, and these wooden walls come into sight. Keep moving, all here.
Right.
And they just
Okay.
keep you marching through, and they get to a gate, and the gate itself has like wooden spikes all over the walls and the gates themselves. And as you get to around 50 or so feet, right, that'll do, wait there. And as you kind of all stop, he kind of like whistles. I'm not going to whistle because we're live, but
Yeah.
he whistles like quite loudly, waves, and then just kind of makes a sort of hand movement towards the guy on the top. And you see that there are positioned every, say, 30 or so feet along the wall, there are mages with their hands open and up, with their heads down, and a couple of, like, the guards run towards them and kind of put the hand on the shoulder, point down to the gate, and you don't see anything happen, but as they kind of drop the hands, the noise from within and this kind of hustle and bustle from within the walls becomes apparent, and it's then that you go, oh shit, like as we came up, like we couldn't hear a fucking thing. Like there was no noise, nothing apart from us and our feet. And then you all of a sudden you hear the clanging of steel, you hear the shouting of men, orders being barked as these you like stand there, and all this kind of cacophony of different noises and voices reach your ear, and you hear the guy go, right, onward, keep moving. And the gates kind of open inward towards the garrison as you get marched through the gate. The sight that befalls you all as you march in is one of organization. Giant tents, soldiers drilling, and it doesn't look like any are wearing any particular colors. There are members of the Lord's Alliance, there are harpers, there are the Order of the Gauntlet members, there are mercenaries, there are other common folk with just mismatch kind of piecemeal armor where they've kind of just put things together. You see there are all different manner of races: dwarves, elves, tieflings. You see humans, you see furbolgs, you see all manner of races, all uniting in this one place. Loads drilling, many on watch and on guard as you are marched through the gates. As you are being marched through the gates, lots of watchful eyes kind of come to greet yours, and most of which have hands on weapons and are ready at any moment. And you see that there is a general sense of readiness within this camp. You see there are, as I say, lots of tents. There are rudimentary courtyards where you see soldiers drilling. A group of, say, 50, all kind of in lines drilling with, with the spear and the pike. On the opposite side, you see like another group that are being like drilled by someone that's obviously in a position of power, where they're being forced to do burpees and push-ups, and they're being yelled at to get in shape. This looks like a very regimented space to be in as you kind of being marched through the gates, and as you get through, the gates kind of shut behind you and you're being walked through. Right, now I'm going to take you to see my commander. One of you. The rest of you are going to wait here.
Oh,
Which one will it be?
let me go, guys. Okay.
Um,
I know Waterdeep, and I know this kind of environment. Just trust me, okay?
are you good at talking with people?
Better than I was.
Our talker isn't with us right now. Jove, you've got this.
Okay.
Keep an eye on my axe as well. I don't want them taking
Obviously.
that.
As you kind of say that and you're kind of looking around, the people with your weapons start walking off.
Hey, where are they going?
Like I said, no sudden movements. You'll get them back when we say so.
I got your word on that.
Are you the talker, are you?
I can be. I just want to make sure I don't lose my axe.
Don't worry, we'll take good care of it. Follow me. And
Fine.
you see that two of the some of the guards, he kind of whistles and points towards you, the rest of you. You see 3 or 4 of the individuals that were stood on watch kind of start coming towards you, and hands on weapons, and kind of stand within the entrance to this garrison. You have around 15 to 20 in your immediate vicinity, but there is hundreds of people around, and a lot of them have eyes on you at this point. Jove, is Zayla coming into the garrison and through the forest and stuff with you?
She would be with me, yeah. She's not leaving my shoulder.
Okay, that's fine. You start getting marched through until you get to a large tent. And before you go in, you're being walked through the garrison by around 4 or 5 other individuals. One has a spear kind of pointed towards your back. 2 others have swords out down by their with their shields next to you, kind of pointing towards you. And as you kind of get walked through, you get walked to this kind of a bigger tent than others. And as you kind of get walked up, you see that people are kind of looking at you, quite scrutinizing your every move, just kind of watching what you're doing and things like that. As you get to around 15-20 feet, right, wait there. Don't move a muscle. You watch him. If he tries anything, you put him in the ground. And the guy turns and walks off into the large tent.
Who am I staring at? Just a person. Just who's arrowing me or holding pike to me. The guards, who am I looking at?
Okay, so you want to describe each one?
Not each one, but just a general sense. Am I looking at orcs or dwarves or what?
So
is there a recognizable face? Is my point.
Yeah, so there's one dwarf, there is 2 humans, 1 elf, and there is a furbolg.
Okay.
With you. All of which have weapons drawn against you, holding swords towards you. The dwarf is the one towards the back of you with the pike. the spear, sorry, in the crease of your back, as he just kind of, as soon as he gives the order to watch you, you feel like the spear and such kind of press a little bit into your back. Not so much that it hurts, but just so that you know it's there. And all of them just kind of like nod and just kind of like bang eyes on you, your every move. Couple of them with swords kind of on the shield in a warrior, like with the shields towards you, swords on, just staring at you. And
Joe
watching
just meets their gaze. He just, between, like, as all of them in front of me, just sort of looks at each of them in the eye and then just looks forward.
Okay. The rest of you, what are you wanting to do during the time that Jove's away?
Go on.
I had a question about the people that are around us.
Okay.
Do I get a sense of are these trained warriors, or are there some among them that seem like they trying to keep a brave face but they don't know what the fuck they're doing, or they haven't done it for that long?
Yeah, for the most part, these are trained warriors, whether they are member of guilds, armies, or such. For the most part, within this garrison, it is trained warriors, whether they're soldiers or not. But there are a few, as you kind of look around, there are a few that kind of like stand, kind of like looking at the sword, kind of like, you can immediately tell somebody that's never been in combat, not used to this sort of life, a militaristic style of living. They look out of place immediately, and they're just kind of like, where they should be like diligent, on guard. Like, there's some of them that are just kind of like twiddling their arms, kind of like just looking around, not really paying much attention to anything. You can tell they're just there as a number, so to speak.
Are those the people that surround us?
No. Your trained warriors around you. Every single one are either holding weapons or have hands on weapons. And each one are pointed in your direction. They might not be holding weapons at you in the sense that they are with Jove, but they are definitely kind of like staring and watching everything you would do.
Is there a blacksmith nearby? Because you said we heard the sound of it.
You can hear clanging, but you can't see you do see smoke coming from another part of the garrison, which you would assume is either a large fire or potentially a forge. But you don't see it from where you are. You just kind of see the smoke kind of coming up a little bit. And weirdly, actually, what you see is, as the smoke rises, where you would imagine it hitting the sky, it kind of like peters out at a certain point and like kind of like domes out a little bit.
Nice. I'm just kind of keeping. I'm kind of like looking around as I'm like stretching my neck, and I'm just looking at how many mages I can see positioned up on the walls.
Okay. Make me a perception check. It's going to be hard to tell, but make me a perception.
That is an 18.
You're looking at rough numbers.
Yeah.
There is an individual stood every 10 feet.
Okay.
Whether they are armed with bow and arrow, spear, whether you are, whether they are mages, whether they are just individuals walking along the battlements. But you kind of you kind of see that this is obviously something that has not been hastily put together.
Yeah.
This is a very well fortified area, and there are great numbers here. And you are only at the precipice of it, like the immediate beginning of it. You cannot see from where you are the back wall of it. Like, this is a large area that has been kind of like chopped out of the forest, but not completely. There are trees that still grow, but it is very much
it's built
like,
within.
Yeah. So they will have had to obviously deforest a lot of it, which is what's built the walls and such of this part of this garrison. But there are still trees and large canopies and such, though, you know, as opposed to try and hide any aerial view of the place.
Hallie, you probably see like a small like creep of a smile breach Ash's lips as she looks around at the sheer number of people here.
Am I allowed to sit down?
Me a bit.
Are you asking me, or or are you asking the
any
people?
Any of the people around us?
Sure.
Thanks. I'll just plop my ass and reach into my my pocket and I was like, it's just a
As
book.
soon as you do, as soon as you reach into your pocket, a couple of them take a couple of steps forward and like raise bows towards you again. And we're like, hey!
It's just a book. Take it easy. It's just a book. Anyone like Sudoku?
I do my crosswords for the day. It's fine.
Something that you notice, the three of you that are there, is that Edredor is not stood. He is pacing. He looks impatient, and he's kind of like staring at the ground. You can see that he seems a little agitated as he's kind of like pacing up and down in this small little bit that you're being kind of confined to, and he's just like, taking so long.
It'll be okay. Look at how many people there are.
Yeah.
This is a good sign.
What good it's fucking done. Huddled up here when there's people out there suffering. I don't like it. And he kind of like kicks the ground a little bit and continues to like stomp up and down a little bit.
You can understand that the need for security is so if Waterdeep is so close, you wouldn't want to be infiltrated by the enemy.
Yeah. Fine. Will one of those fuckers touch me with any of that?
I understand.
Oh, even the gods themselves wouldn't stop me.
Honestly,
That's a
I know
joke,
two of them. They wouldn't.
Wait, what?
Gods,
You-
Yeah.
apparently.
Oh, we're talking about that soon. In the meantime, Jove, outside the tent, the individual that marched in kind of marches out, steps out and opens the tent and bring him in. Now. You are marched into the tent.
Mhm.
The tent itself is kind of lit by torchlight. There are a few kind of sconces and things that have been kind of like, hooded lanterns and stuff that are hanging throughout. And you are brought in to the main tent. And as you kind of take a few steps forward, there is an individual towards the back of the tent. Kind of around... not quite short enough to be a dwarf, but a bit taller, but not tall, not a very tall human either, but he's quite a stocky individual, like quite built. You take 5-10 steps in with the 5 to 6 guards around you. And as soon as you step in to 5-10 feet, you feel hands grab your shoulders and you are forced down onto your knees.
He tries his best not to worry. He's like, hey, what?
You are forced
What are we doing?
down onto your
No,
knees.
he's not fighting.
Your
He's just-
arms, they grab your arms and you are forced down, and a sword comes swinging down towards you. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh God.
What?
Seriously?
Yep. We're going to end it there before next week. As this sword comes
fucking hell.
swinging down towards Jove's head.
It's fine. I can rage. I can live this. It's fine.
So yeah, it is a bit of a shorter session this evening, guys, and thank you very much for sticking with us. It's a bit of a shorter session because Chris is absent, so I wanted to make sure that we just moved time forward a little bit and got to a certain place. Chris will be back with us next week, however, but that is it for this evening. Please don't go anywhere. We are going to raid our good friends over at Die by the Sword, who are currently streaming. So please stick around, go check them out. If you haven't seen what they're up to already, they're an amazing group of individuals that play really high class and heavy role played adventures. If you've got another half an hour, please stick around, support them, drop them a follow. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We're going to be back on Thursday night with the Spelljammer Academy. Make sure you come and drop in with us then. Thank you very much, and we will see you on Thursday. Take care. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
See you later.